Let your shiny eyes reveal the simple truth.
For only €5 a month, experience every high-definition moment on your TV, tablet, phone or PC. Great teams, great moments, and so much more. TSN from Melita is your ticket to stay in the game. Visit melita.com/sports.
Welcome one and all to Mount Panorama Bathurst, as it's more commonly known in Australia, New South Wales. And we have 19 BTCC cars to thrash around it for over 2 hours today. It's going to be absolutely thrilling. These, of course, all the Subaru Levorg, the only rear-wheel drive BTCC car, if you forget that BMW exists. But anyway, they're long, they're fast, and they're very, very difficult to control around this circuit, as pretty much any car would be, because just look how tight some sections are. If we take a look at someone about to go through the tightest part of the mountain section, Sheldon Scott Muscat, currently on the track at the minute. You have the Forest Elbow just coming up. very, very tight downhill round a cambered corner as well. So yeah, legendary circuit, plenty of legendary locations around the lap. The site of the famous Bathurst 1000 and also Bathurst 12 hours. And once upon a time, they also held a Bathurst 24 hours here. And I'm glad they don't still do that, because that is just asking for trouble. But anyway, fantastic track, fantastic car, and we've got plenty of fantastic drivers to go with it. Several that have raced with us before, and several that I don't recognise either. Let's look through the field just quickly and see who's new. Nathan Mifsud hasn't raced with us before, and I'm wondering, is he related to race director Justin Mifsud? Quite possibly. We'll have to have some confirmation of that. And no, okay, apparently he isn't related to Justin. It's just a common surname in mainland Europe. Who else do I not recognise? Marco Holtzmann, I believe this is his first starting with sim racing, with World Pro Racing sim racing. Christian Pints is new as well. Paul August Lana is not new to well, I've commentated races with him before, although I don't think he's done World Pro Racing. He's another rFactor 2 specialist who's done a lot with GPWC and events like that. And also welcome to Jar Pittes. I recognise that name. I'm not sure where from though. Mikael Parry is new, as is Ben Horrell, who's been in and around endurance racing on rFactor 2 as well as GPWC. Josep Puk is new as well, as is Jana Titus, Andreas Lutus, and and welcome back to Daniel Streamer. I don't think we've seen Daniel Streamer for something like maybe probably about 1.5 years. But yeah, so good to see him back, as well as a lot of other returning faces. Of course, you'll recognise Jani Simonjic, one of the championship contenders in our GT3 Masters Championship, just keeping it out to the wall there after a big movement at the top of the chase. But anyway, yeah, plenty of other names that you'd recognise, such as Sheldon Scott Muscat, who's raced a lot. Itamar Yatov, of course, won one of our Formula 4 races, I believe, a very, very long time ago. Petr Brelyak is also another championship contender in GT3 Masters. And then, of course, you read names like Dean Vella, like Jim Paresis, and like Daniel Streamer, and you think, whoa, I've seen those guys before. So anyway, welcome back to one and all. Welcome to everyone. And so far, it looks like the driver to catch is going to be Jani Simonjic. We've said that at other events so far this year, but Jani Simonjic over a second ahead of anyone else in this practice session. We do have 14 minutes of practice remaining before we get going for the start of the qualifying session, and then of course we will have a 2-hour race at the Bathurst circuit, a sixth of the Bathurst 12 hour that they run here every February. Although anyone with a basic knowledge of mathematics would be able to tell you that. I'm interested to see what Jim Paresis and also Petr Brelyak can do, because they're very, very fast drivers from the World Pro Racing GT3 Masters Championship. Currently, neither of them able to get within 2 seconds of Jani Simonjic. Bathurst is a track where more experienced drivers do tend to do so much better. I was driving Bathurst earlier and well, it always takes my breath away how tight it is at the top of the hill and how rewarding it is when you get it right, and also how easy it is to make a mistake. And if you get slightly offline in that mountain section, you get battered around like a ping pong ball, and it really is all over. So if we have time before we go for an advert break or something, I want to take a look at someone going around the circuit so we can see the full Bathurst Mount Panorama circuit. It appears that Marco Holtzmann is going for a lap now, so let's have a look on board with him. So as we head onto the flying lap, we head down towards turn 1. This is known as Hell Bend because there used to be a rather dangerous tree stump on the outside which unstuck many a many a motorbike rider especially, although it's now known of course as I believe Vodafone Corner or Vodafone Bend. We head up the hill towards Griffiths. I believe that's what it's called anyway. I haven't got a track map open because I'm scared of crashing everything. My internet hasn't been great recently. And now we head out towards the mountain section. We have two corners which seem to carousel around to the left now as you go very steeply uphill. It helps that you're going uphill because, of course, that aids in the braking of the car, and means that you have less chance of slithering wide. This uphill part, not the most dangerous part of the circuit. It's when you start getting to the crests like that one that it starts getting properly scary. We're going to get another crest now as we go over Skyline. Big gravel trap on the outside, one of the only gravel traps waiting to catch you on this this course. Everywhere else you just have barriers. Here's the dipper, one of the most iconic parts of the circuit, and out through the S's towards Forest Elbow, the final corner in the mountain section, and a very important one because then you have an extremely long straight downhill at first, then over a crest. And Forest Elbow really sets you up for this whole thing. Very narrow straight as well. Overtaking here is difficult, even though it's a straight line. And you need to be wary of where your opponents are. So, final iconic part of the circuit. We've gone past the Conrad Straight and into the Chase. And the Chase is difficult because you have to get your car settled after that slight kink, and then brake down into turns 21 and 22. And the final corner is known as Murray's Corner, or Murray's Bend, turn 23. The pit lane wiggles off to the left, and if you can keep it out to the tyre wall on the right there, that is a lap of the Mount Panorama circuit. So, not a particularly quick lap for Marco Holtzman there. It was a 2:18.648, so not the best of laps, one of the slowest that he's done, but still a good indicator of what a lap here looks like. Meanwhile, Jim Paresis has become the first person to put his car within a second of Yanni Simonchic's time. So I wonder whether those are going to be the two main protagonists for the victory here. Of course, it's very hard to tell because, again, it's Mount Panorama, and mistakes cost you so much here because you do tend to end up in the wall. And once you've got damage, it becomes more likely that you're going to make mistakes. You start going slower, so you start pushing harder to make up for it, and that makes it more likely to make mistakes. So you do end up getting a real chain reaction effect, and it just gets worse and worse for you. So I think it's going to end up being the driver who's the most clean that wins this one. Most clean while still being competitively fast, of course. Nathan Mistard apologising for something there. Oh, that's just because he's just run into the back of another car. That other car being Paul August Lana, but at least it's only practice. It means that firstly you can't get penalties in practice unless you do something truly outrageous, and secondly, it doesn't really matter because you can just escape back to the pits, and no one's really lost anything except a little bit of track time. But anyway, hello to everyone joining us on YouTube and Facebook, and I believe Twitch as well. We're live on all three, so you can tune in on your favourite social media platform, unless your social media platform isn't one of those three, but so long as it is. I see you've got plenty of names that I recognise in all of the chat. Seems that people can't count in the YouTube chat. First, third, second, fourth, fifth, sixth. Or sixth. That's an interesting way of saying it. From the main World Pro Racing channel there. Very interesting. But anyway, I'll peel my eyes away from social media to look back at the circuit. Now, I've spoken already about the drivers that I expect to be strong here. mainly Simoncic and Paresis, and probably Brilliak if you can find a bit of pace as well. Although it's not really any way we can talk about the cars that are going to be strong here, since everyone is in identical machinery. They can set the cars up how they like. There are various different setup options available, just like in any sim. Although the base car is exactly the same. It's the 2016 Subaru Levorg BTCC, a car that I very much like. Actually, I've raced this car myself. Got my first GPWC victory in a Subaru Levorg BTCC, so it's one that I always have a soft spot for, and one that always runs well. And it's good for endurance racing like this as well, because it's rear-wheel drive, and that means that it tends to be better on its tires, and as a result, you can run for longer, and you don't have to worry about overheating your fronts so much. Of course, this car is front engine, do have a lot of the weight over the front axle, and not quite as much over the rear. Although, despite that, the rear-wheel drive nature of it, and also the heaviness of the car in general, the bulkiness of the estate layout, means that that doesn't really matter. Looks like a brick, drives like a tree. But anyway, Yanni Simoncic has now improved his lap, 2:15.089. Could he get into the 240s here? That would be hugely impressive. He's driving a classic NASCAR here from '74 earlier, and despite having tremendous speed in a straight line, it could only manage 225s. So that just shows you how fast BTCC machinery is these days. It's even faster than TCR machinery, which is seen as some of the fastest touring car machinery ever produced. Not much faster, but faster nonetheless. Simoncic getting into the wall as I'm watching him there. We now have just 5 minutes left in practice. Of course, practice doesn't directly affect the starting order, or the finishing order for that matter. Although it just allows drivers to see the track one last time before they go at it in qualifying. And qualifying, of course, is when it all matters. Qualifying, of course, is when the grid is decided. And with a long track like Bathurst, each individual lap within qualifying, I'd say matters more so than at any other track, because of course it means you get less chances, because you can fit less laps in to the time. Not entirely sure how long qualifying is going to be. I should have checked that, although I'm sure we're going to see in due time. So anyway, the last chance for drivers to perfect their setups and see exactly where they hope to stand at the start of the race and throughout this race. A lot of other drivers will be focusing mainly on their race performance in this practice session now. Not sure about this late in the session. This late in the session, people tend to like to focus on their qualifying pace, since that just makes it fresh in their mind. Although, of course, more important in terms of longer races like this 2-hour coming up shortly, the way you conserve your tires, possibly the way you conserve your fuel as well, although I'm not sure about that. I found from racing this car myself that normally you can make the tires last about 25 minutes if you're properly careful, meaning I'm expecting quite a few pit stops today. Maybe you can make it last a bit longer than that. Bathurst isn't a particularly demanding circuit on the tyres, more so on the driver. Meanwhile, Kieran Pints, 2:15.597, so Pints puts himself second, only half a second off Jani Simoncic as it stands. Not bad at all. He's picking up pace, and Petr Broljak there getting himself just a second off Pints as well. Possibly 3 or 4 drivers in contention for quick times here. Although still, you have to say it'd be pretty audacious to bet against Jani Simoncic taking pole. But again, we shall see in due time. I was saying something before I got distracted there. Oh yeah, I think probably if these drivers are extra careful, they can make the tyres last about 13 minutes maybe. But still, I'm expecting at least 3 pit stops from the winner. If anyone can do this full race on 2 pit stops, I'd be quite impressed. But I may be completely wrong. I've certainly been wrong before. So, 19 drivers, all of whom have now set a lap in practice. I believe the last one to set a lap was Matthew Bugea. I hope that's how you pronounce it. My apologies if I'm getting it wrong. And Bugea, I believe, wasn't here at the start of the practice session, so good to see him joining in just in time. And he's currently 17th out of the 19 drivers in the field, ahead of Andreas Lutis and Yusuf Puk. So those are the drivers who will be most hoping to improve their laps. And I think Kieran Pints, or Christian Pints, not Kieran. Christian Pints may well have what it takes to challenge for pole here. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, an improvement coming in from Gunnar Titus there, putting his car up into 10th position in the order. And we now have checkered flag on the session. Jani Simoncic does get into the 2:14s right at the dead of practice. And that sets him up very, very well for qualifying now. That's exactly what he would have wanted to boost his confidence, to get him prepared for the start of this session. Jani Simoncic is going to be one tough cookie, one tough nut to crack. And Christian Pints 6/10 off him in the end, so it was Simoncic first, followed by Pints, Broljak, Parisis, Yativ, Bekas, Scott Muscat, Mifsud, Bella, and Petes. Those were the top 10. And then we had Titus, Holtzman, Streamer, Lana, Hurl, Parry, Bugea, and my game's just crashed. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to see the start of the qualifying session. I'll try to get in as quickly as I can. This happened the other day as well. Not sure entirely why my game did that, but oh well. So away they go for the qualifying session. We have 21 minutes? Right, 20 minutes, sorry. So we've got the green flag at the end of the pit lane now. And away we go for the first, or for the only qualifying session. And in 20 laps, of course, you have laps worth 2 minutes and 15 if you do it very, very quickly. So you do the maths and see just how many laps you can put in. I'll be trying to watch the YouTube stream to see if I can keep up with what's going on while my game's loading up again. But I'll be slightly delayed, so I think it's time for some YouTube comments probably. Matt Grank says, "Hey Caitlin." Hi Matt. Not racing today, just watching. Okay, that's good. Hope you enjoy the stream, and see you back next time. Haniel Sabdi is saying, is everyone using the Subaru? Yes, indeed, everyone using the Subaru Levorg BTCC. So equal machinery, and it won't be down to that at the end of the day. It will be down to the driver. It'll be down to who keeps it cleanest, who keeps it out of trouble. Possibly a bit of luck with things like back markers and incidents involving other drivers. But still, that mainly it's going to be down to the driver themselves and what they can pull out of this round. And on Facebook, we haven't had any comments yet, but that's okay. If you're watching, let us know how you're enjoying this, and what are your predictions? Who are your picks for the podium in particular? If you could put those in the YouTube chat, and pole position as well, although I don't think anyone could really bet against Yoni Simoncic this early. Simoncic just about to start his flying lap. I believe we're on board with him now. So we continue to watch him. Matt Grank in the YouTube chat saying next race is Le Mans GT3 Masters. Indeed it is, and that's another 2-hour event. And he says, I'll be competing. That's great to hear. I'll be looking forward to it, and I'll be cheering you on. Just say cheer on all the competitors. I'm not saying I'm biased or anything. Unfortunately, my game's taking a very long time to load, so bear with me. But anyway, I'll try to keep you entertained in the meantime. 17 minutes, just under, remaining until we get the checkered flag in the qualifying session. Yoni Simoncic just heading up through the mountain section. And he'll be looking to get into the 214s again. He was able to do it towards the end of the practice session, and looks as if he's going to have the pace to do it again. Just look at how brave he is over the crests, how committed he is through the corners. And I believe he even has slight damage, so it's pretty impressive that he's being this committed. Not sure if that's damage or just lag that I'm seeing there. Matt Grank says, we have a strategy for this race. Take out Simoncic and someone from GT Omega can win it. I mean, that's certainly a strategy. I wouldn't advise it, and we do have live stewards watching, so I wouldn't advise that, but, you know, strategy nonetheless. Anyway. So, Yoni Simoncic, I think definitely has some light damage. Maybe. I may be getting that completely wrong. But anyway, coming towards the end of his first qualifying lap, he's probably already set it, although of course I'm on a delay, so I'm about to see what you've all just seen. Sorry if that's not very helpful, but anyway. Crossing the start-finish line, as he did probably about 20 seconds ago. Looked to me as if he backed off a little bit before the start-finish line, but anyway, 2:15.012. Thank you for the live timing, World Pro Racing. That is very, very handy. I didn't even know we had live timing. And, yeah, okay, that's very helpful. Thank you so much. Okay, so anyway, Yoni Simoncic currently on provisional pole position, followed by Jim Parisas, 2:16.003, just under a second back. Petr Brilyak is third. Those are the top three drivers who have currently set flying laps. I believe we had a problem for Andres Lutis on his lap because he was 38 seconds down. And an improvement now, Kieran Pints goes up into third place, so 2:16.084. That puts him just over a second off Yoni Simoncic, and just under a tenth of a second off Jim Parisas. It's close up there, but Simoncic and Pints are currently in the pit lane. They can go out again, although they're not going for 2 laps in a row. Just watching the other opening times being set as drivers cross the start-finish line. Of course, a good strategy in qualifying would be to take it easily at first, because this is Bathurst. Some drivers potentially won't be able to stack qualifying laps because but it's easier to make mistakes and have accidents. So a lot of drivers, I expect, will be taking it easier at first, and then once they've put a banker lap down of say 220 or maybe a little bit quicker, they'll be gunning it and chasing down those 215s, 216s. And that's certainly what I'd be doing. I know that I'd be certainly going for a not particularly, or not necessarily a slow lap at first, but definitely one where I'm not taking too many risks, not throwing the car in, just, you know, making sure that I have an average decent lap set, and then once that's done, properly going for it once you've got nothing to lose and a lot to gain. Because the trouble is, if you mess up several times and you find yourself with only one run to go, then you know you truly have got nothing to lose, and you've got to go for it. Because it's not a case of setting a quick lap at that point, it's just a case of setting a lap at all. Anyway, I'm now back into the qualifying session, so I can stop waffling and actually look at what is properly going on track. So, 3 drivers have not yet set a qualifying lap. They are Itmar Yativ, Paul August Lana, and Ben Horrell, and those are the drivers I'm watching at present to see just what they can do on these opening laps. Everyone on track, so Paresis and Pints are back on circuit again. Pints just starting another flying lap, but I want to watch only Ben Horrell just quickly. We know he can be quick, and he's just about to cross the line to set his first flying lap, and that puts him up into 12th position, so not a bad opening lap. Paul August Lana now. Here's Jeep VWC rival, about to cross the line. 5th place, not bad from Paul August Lana, very good in fact. It's my Yativ now coming to the end of the lap to set his first flying lap, and we saw him setting quite a decent one, quite a competitive one in practice. So just one corner to go now. It's Murray's, and after the 90-degree left and the curbing on the outside, he comes across the line. 2nd place, great lap from Itmar Yativ. Not the greatest line through Murray's corner, but that 10th of a second at maximum. And Itmar Yativ sets a 2:15.887, just under 9 tenths per second off Jurny Simoncic, but comfortably in 2nd position. Oh no, as I say that, Petr Briljak goes 2nd. And actually puts his car within half a second of Jurny Simoncic. 2:15.452. That's impressive there. Jim Paresis now goes 3rd. 2:15.751. So we've now got 4 drivers in 15. Let's watch Kieran Pints to see if he can do the same thing. Meanwhile, Dean Vella goes 7th. But let's keep watching Christian Pints. I'm sure I keep calling him Kieran. His name isn't Kieran, it's Christian. But anyway, oh, he's going off. He's going off. Yeah, okay, well that was looking like a good lap, but got it very, very wide into the chase. And off he went into the grass. So he will still get another opportunity, but that one is wasted. I thought for sure he was going to get into the 215s with that, but never mind. Ooh, Jim Paresis in the wall there. He was going for another attempt, but slammed into the barrier on the outside of what corner is that? Okay, get that to you in a second, but anyway. So, Jurny Simoncic about to start another flying lap. Let's watch and see exactly how A champion sim racer does it. Yanni Simoncic, of course, FSR world champion this year. 2:14.784. That's the fastest lap that we've seen all day. Goodness gracious me. We've now lost Ben Horrell from the order. I've noticed that he has completely disappeared. He is not even on the server anymore. So whether we see Ben Horrell starting or not, we'll have to find out shortly. Although Yusuf Pook, who wasn't here at the start of the qualifying session, he has now come back in. So we do still have 18 drivers. It's just that Pook appears to be replacing Horrell for the time being. Right, now, I'm interested to see which of the front runners can get closest to Simoncic, or possibly launch a challenge on him. Not sure whether Petr Briljac's currently on a flying lap. He is not, I believe. So Briljac just setting up for one. Paresis is as well. Yeah, okay, I see it's on live timing now. So Simoncic, Paresis, Yativ and Pint all on outlaps. Briljak has just started a flying lap, so this is an important one for Petr Briljak to either challenge Yanni Simoncic or extend his margin away from Jim Paresis. Did tag the grass slightly on the exit of Hell Bend. May cost him a fraction of a mile an hour up the straight towards Griffins. Brakes, you see the tyre spook flying up from his locked up front right wheel. Now into the two left-handers heading up the hill. Again, another big lock-up. That place called the Cutting. That's the corner name I was trying to remember. And then you have Quarry Corner, Reed Park, and Frog Hollow going off to the left. Turn 10 McPhillamy Park. That's a name that I recognise. Before, of course, you head over Skyline and past the gravel trap. Briljak keeping it tight despite a couple of lockups. Not convinced that this lap's going to be as quick as his previous best. And in fact, he's given up. So Petr Briljak abandons the lap. Jim Paresis has just been into the wall again at Griffin. So both of those drivers having more problems and not being able to set fast laps just yet. Christian Pints, meanwhile, has he's just improved on his first sector time, looking to be the 5th driver into the 2:15s so far in this qualifying session. As we get an improvement from Daniel Streamer, who goes up into 8th. No improvement from him. It was Nathan Mifsud. So Nathan Mifsud jumps up into 7th position. My apologies. So, as we were saying, Christian Pines did improve in the first sector. I think his second sector's looking, yep, that's an improvement as well. So I'd be surprised here if Christian Pines didn't get into the and just I say that he runs off again, just as he did on his last qualifying run. So Pines having troubles with the chase at this point in time, having troubles with the chicane. And I was just about to say I'd be surprised if he didn't get into the 2:15, but throws that one away. So looking at the times again, none of the front runners appear to be about to improve on their times, although we are about to get the start of a new lap from a driver who's been very quiet so far, Maciej Bekas. And Bekas, well, he was the 2nd fastest brand new driver to World Pro Racing behind Christian Pines in practice. Yeah, I haven't mentioned him yet in qualifying, despite the fact he is only, well, he's less than 1.5 tenths of a second off Christian Pines. So Bekas there doing a great job in 6th place, and will probably get more involved in the action in the race as well. So I'll be keeping a close eye on his lap. There's a bunch of drivers there actually, with within 0.3 of a second of getting into the 2:15s. Pints, Bakas, Mifsud, Lana, and then also just 0.3 of a second off our streamer and Scott Muscat too. So I think any of those drivers probably have the potential to get into the 2:15s. So I think, well, pole position looks pretty set at the minute for Yanni Simonchurch. Everywhere from second back is a bit more open game. Maciej Bakas have got this lap very right so far. Yeah, he tagged the wall slightly there, approaching the skyline, but that really won't affect him much. In fact, it may have helped him turn in. Here we go down the hill. That's beautiful. That's probably the best line through the dipper and the S's that I've seen so far today. Maciej Bakas has clearly raced at this track before. Probably not the best entry into Forest Elbow, but still he's got a little bit of a distant slipstream there, so will likely pick up some speed along Conrad. Driver pulling over to let him through, as we get an improvement from Daniel Streamer, who goes up into to 9th position now. So Bakas braking towards the chase. This is the corner where we've seen Christian Pints having trouble. A little bit on the grass, but that's okay. It was only the inside tyres he got into the grass, and that won't affect him much at all. Bakas now turning into the final corner at Murray's. That looked like a very good lap to me. 2:15, no, 2:16.164. Just missing out, not only on 2:15s, but also on improving his position. Stays 6th. I was sure that was going to be an improvement there. Jim Paresis now the next driver to, because he has improved on his first sector time. And remember, Paresis is one of the drivers in the 2:15s. One of the drivers challenging for the front rows of the grid. And with now just 1 minute and 20 left on the clock, it's starting to really matter. This is when it becomes all or nothing. This is when the drivers have to just gun it. They'll be hearing the tick-tock of a timer running out in the back of their minds. Paresis out of the final corner. He'll have one more flying lap if he wants it. Fine. No improvement for Paresis. In fact, he must have made a big mistake that I didn't see, because he lost about 0.7 of a second there. And a big slide through turn 1, so that may be Paresis' last chance to improve on his position gone. Yanni Simonchurch is about to complete another flying lap. This could be even quicker still, because he didn't improve on his time in the first sector, but did very much so in the second sector. Simonchurch out of the chase, not even putting a wheel on the grass there. First time I've seen anyone get through there with all 4 wheels within the lines. Murray's, and again uses the curb but doesn't go over it. 2:14.531, and he weaves. You can tell he thinks that's pole position, and it looks to be over. Christian Pints goes 4th and does get into the 2:15s in the end, just about jumps ahead of Jim Paresis. And Paresis meanwhile is rubbing along the barriers, so I believe that's Paresis. Well, I believe that's him starting from 5th now. Broliak and Yatov are still on laps. Yatov's lap does not look quick. He's coming through the final corner now, so unless he's pulled out something in the... Well, he hasn't. He's pulling across to the left there. Gives up. Petr Broliak, the final driver, I think, could still theoretically take pole position. Oh, and in the wall. So that's Broliak's last chance gone. I mean, yeah, he's continuing the lap, but he'll have to back off, surely. Yeah, in fact, he's now cut the dipper, so that's that for Broliak. Let's see who else could still improve. Daniel Streamer put in a decent first sector time. He's following another driver down the hill, Paul August Lana, and they're in a little scrap over 8th position in terms of the times. through Forest Elbow. Lana may end up accidentally helping Streamer here. That's not Lana there actually, there's a car between them. It's Matthew Bugea there. Anyway, so towards the end of the lap, these are the last drivers who could potentially improve. Streamer's first and second sectors have been improvements on his time. Lana's second sector was, although his first sector was down. Lana's going to cross the line first. Stays out of the pit lane, so he is going for a final corner for him. He's 8th at present. Gets it over the grass. No improvement for Lana. What about Streamer? Show this woman. And he jumps up to 6th position right at the dead. So, great final lap for Streamer there. Just about doesn't make it into the top. Into the 215s, but so nearly did. And that is the lot for this qualifying session now. So it's Yanni Simonchich who takes pole position by 9/10 of a second from Petr Brilyak. That's a dominant pole position. And it's Itmar Yatov, Christian Paints, Jim Parisis, Daniel Streamer, Maciej Bekas, Nathan Mifstud, Paul August Lana, Sheldon Scott Muscat, the top 10. Then it's Kyle Pittis, Dean Vella, Janab Titus, and then Marco Holtzman, Mikhail Parry, Andreas Lutis, Matthew Bugea, and Joseph Puk. So, as I've just... Okay, yep, so we're going for an advertising break. We'll be back immediately afterwards. See you then.
Like a child, you wanna keep it, but your shiny eyes reveal the simple truth.
For only €5 a month, experience every high-definition moment on your TV, tablet, phone or PC. Great teams, great moments, and so much more. TSN from Melita is your ticket to stay in the game. Visit melita.com/sports.
Welcome back everyone to Bathurst, Mount Panorama, New South Wales and Australia, and World Pro Racing of course with me, your commentator, Caitlin Penny, and it's great that we're able to bring this to you with Justin Missard, Adrian Figallo, George Muscat and everyone else working behind the scenes at World Pro Racing. So we've got 2 hours of this treacherous circuit coming up. It's going to be tricky. I'm not expecting that many of these drivers to finish this race. Actually, that's a good thing to bet. If you can put in the YouTube chat, how many of these drivers are going to cross the finish line and see the checkered flag? I'm gonna say 9. We've got 17 people on the server at the minute. I'm gonna say 9. Although it's of course, probably going to be a race of high attrition. These BTCC cars, they're not easy cars to destroy. They're quite robust, although they do have a tendency to lose wheels occasionally. That is. But anyway, we shall see. Just under 2 minutes to go until a session ends, and then we get ready to start the 2-hour race. It's almost an endurance race, and I tell you what, it'll set way for the drivers, because as opposed to a lot of 2-hour races where you'd end up where you'd have a support driver, a second driver that you can hand over to about an hour in. In this, you don't. It's completely done by yourself, one driver per car, which is firstly why we have this many drivers on the entry list, and secondly, yeah, it's certainly going to feel pretty mentally draining, as Australia, of course, or Bathurst rather, always a high concentration circuit, especially with those twisty bits up at the top of the hill. And yeah, sooner than me, I'm doing a 45-minute race at Bathurst tomorrow, and dreading how I'm gonna feel after that. So you know, huge respect to these guys doing 2 hours. So just to remind you of what we witnessed for the break, we witnessed several drivers trying to get into the 215s in qualifying. 5 of them making it, but it was Jani Simoncic who came out on top as the only driver to be able to set a 2:14 in qualifying pace. Of course, race pace tends to be significantly slower. We're expecting probably 2:17s at the 2:17s in clean air with low fuel and fresh tires. Well, that's the thing, actually. I'm not sure quite how long these drivers are expecting the fuel to last. I'm not sure I've ever driven a BTCC car with a full tank of fuel, because in sprint races you don't need it. Anyway, the server is now taking over, and we're getting ready to start the race. We have just under 30 seconds now until they get going. I don't think we have a formation lap. I think we're going straight forward. Of course, Bathurst tends to be too long for a formation lap anyway, unless you're doing a race in real life. So I think we're just about to go for it. So it's going to be Jani Simoncic on pole position, followed by Petr Brljak. It's Marjatov and Christian Pint. Those are the drivers on the front 2 rows of the grid that you've got to look out for. So let's look for the lights and go. The race is underway, and Brljak gets a bad start. It's Pint up the inside, so Pint up into second place already. It's Marjatov trying to follow him through. 2 drivers are starting from the pit lane, Lutis and Bugea. Does everyone make it through turn 1 okay? A couple of drivers running over the grass, although everyone's still on the road. So Simoncic, Pint, Yatov and Brljak is the order as we head up towards Griffin's Bend for the very first time. This is where you can do some slipstreaming and have your last attempt at making an overtaking maneuver before you head up into the mountain section, and it becomes so much harder, so much more dangerous. Jani Simoncic will be the first to come across each and every challenge here. Streamer side by side with Parisas. Parisas going through on the inside, so Parisas keeps 5th position in that. Bekas and Mifsud for contact, and Bekas is in the wall further back. That's our first little bit of wall contact that we've seen. It looked to me as if Bekas didn't know that Mifsud was alongside him and just got pit maneuvered, I suppose. Mifsud gets through. Bekas will likely have some light damage. I knew we'd see something like that on the opening lap of the race. Indeed, Bekas does have some damage. Oh, big problems further back. Sheldon Scott Muscat is facing backwards. You've also got Titus and Holtzman involved. And that was started when Muscat tried to go up the inside of Pittes over Skyline. And it didn't work. They ended up in the barrier with Muscat spinning. Drivers scattering to avoid him, some going through the gravel, but Sheldon Scott Muscat clearly got away the worst of all of them. So that's an incident on the opening lap of the race, but still everyone just about running. Now down the Conrad Straight, they head slipstream each other towards the chase, getting ready to launch an overtake if they can. I'd be surprised if we didn't see at least one on the opening lap of the race. And then, of course, if you can get a good run out there, you have another opportunity into Murray's. Simoncic kicking up the grass a little bit on the exit of the chase, but Pint's not close enough to make an overtaking move. Simoncic over the grass again, not getting away too much in this opening lap of the race, although doing a good job to maintain the lead. So it's Simoncic, Pints, and Yatov 1, 2, 3 at the end of the opening lap. Then Brljak and Priestess. Lana is side by side with Pittes further back. Pittes is 9th, going past Lana, and Lutis is in the pits. So Andreas Lutis, our first pitter, and that looks to be a penalty, maybe. Is that for speeding in the pit lane? Because I know he started in the pits. Could be track limits for cutting the chase or something, but I doubt it. Not entirely sure. Whatever the case, he's been through the pits and he's come out still ahead of Sheldon Scott Muscat, who got heavily booked on that opening lap of the race with the incident that happened up at Skyline. He will argue that I think it was Peters who was he was side by side with, turned in on him, and Peters, or whoever it actually was who was side by side with him, will argue that he really shouldn't have been going for it there because, let's face it, Skyline single file. But anyway, so we're going over Skyline again. Does everyone keep it clear for the second time of asking? This is one of the most dangerous and difficult corners on the track. Despite the fact there's a gravel trap to catch you on the outside, it's just such a fast corner that you can never get complacent through it. We've seen drivers having some pretty nasty shunts there in the past. Out onto the Conrod straight again. More slipstreaming I'm expecting to occur this lap than the last, because lap 2 is the lap where everyone knows their position and they know that they've got to just go for it. Christian Pines definitely gaining on Simoncic here, and taking a look, he's on the left side as they head towards the chase. Doesn't keep his car there, doesn't try to force the issue. Hoping that Simoncic can run wide, he is, but Simoncic keeping it between the lanes. Simoncic so clean through the chase every single time. Now into Murray's. And again onto the third lap of the race. Only 4 minutes into an 120-minute race. Just shows you what these drivers are going to have to put up with and what they're going to have to concentrate on over the course of this event. Little move going on further back, and that was Nathan Mifsud jumping up the inside of Daniel Streamer into turn 1. I seem to remember, Streamer comes back at him up towards Griffins. The side-by-side almost rubbing door handles. Streamer has the run, Mifsud's still there though, and Mifsud will have the inside for Griffins. Streamer not able to get underneath him. I seem to remember Daniel Streamer doing a lot worse. We raced V8 supercars here back when we were sim racing Water. So he's obviously improved a lot. That is if I'm remembering correctly, not entirely sure if it was him in that race, but I think it was. That was a hectic race if you remember that one. It's still on YouTube if you want to go and see it. When we raced the Aussie V8 supercars at Mount Panorama. Now the advantage of being on a simulator here, at this time of year, the circuit isn't open. Of course, the Mount Panorama circuit technically counts as a street circuit, as the road you're seeing them going across now, the mountain road, that's a public road most of the year. Not a very well used one, but it's an official public road nonetheless. And they only shut it off, I think, 3 times a year for race events. Once in February for the 12-hour, once whenever the Bathurst 1000 is, and I believe they're also opening it for a brand new TCR event or something like that next year as well, which will be the third open weekend. And this track, of course, on a lot of people's bucket list to go and visit, certainly mine. I'd love to go and watch in the mountain section and see cars flying through perilously close to the wall. Never seen anything like that before, and I'd love to. So Christian Pine still just 0.3 of a second off the back of Jurgen Simoncic to go on to another lap of racing. Very, very close to his tail, and not able to go for it just yet, but certainly in attacking range. Jurgen Simoncic often qualifies Paul, but we've seen in the GT Masters as well that in the early stages of the race, he does drop back a little bit into the clutches of the opponents behind, and I thought that was just the Audi that he races in GT3 Masters, although Pine's certainly not letting him get away. I'm not saying that Simoncic is bad at starts or anything along those lines. Of course, you don't get to be Formula Sim Racing champion if you are. But Christian Pines is putting so much pressure on him, and pressure is what you really don't want at Bathurst. I think Pines is probably in a much nicer position than Simoncic here. Of course, not literally, if you look at the fact that Simoncic is leading and Pint second, but Pint on the offense just feels so much less pressure than Simoncic. As he gets a better run out of Forest Elbow there, will he be able to get alongside him into the chase again like he did last lap? Not sure that he will, but certainly took a more offensive line through Forest Elbow there, setting himself up for the straight, setting himself up for slipstream. Straights are the most important part on the track where you want to be fast, because that is where that's where you pull the overtakes, and that's where you fend people off. And if you can decide between being especially fast on straights or in corners, definitely straights are better to go for. Onto another lap, what's the gap? Well, it's pretty much exactly the same as it was a lap ago. Oh, mistake for Titus. Yana Titus there. Ran off at the chase. He was following Matthew Begea, and they both went off. Titus went off much, much worse, went off to the outside, and Begea actually made light contact with Marco Holtzman as they went through, but they did both get through that. So a little bit of argy-bargy further back, some positions changing. Yeah, Titus now down into 15th position. He was running 13th for all of that. Mifsud again side by side with Streamer up towards Griffins. Ooh, door-to-door contact. And Mifsud just keeps it out of the barrier. And now watch Maciej Bekas getting involved as well. Round the outside of Daniel Streamer. Running wide. Ooh, little nudge. They get away with it. That is a little bit hairy there. How Pitt is right on the tail of them as well. So that is a four-way fight, I'd say. Actually, no, Mifsud's getting away from Streamer a little bit and all of that. So Streamer versus Bekas versus Pittes. So we head over Skyline. Streamer slightly wide. Although Skyline and and Streamer running off the road, gaining a bit of time through Skyline there. He didn't do that too much. The stewards will be watching that, as will the in-game corner cut system. I do remember there was a driver who did pull a move into the dipper quite famously in a touring car race. I believe it was Jordan Cox or something like that. Similar name anyway, but yeah, one of the best and most surprising overtaking maneuvers I've ever seen in my life. But I doubt we're going to be seeing anyone doing that today, and for good reason too. So towards the end of another lap, still Pints stuck behind Simoncic, and I think he'll be starting to think about the pit stop stage. He'll be starting to think, well, you know, if I'm still behind Simoncic, when my tires start to go off or my fuel starts to run low, what do I do then? Do I pit before him? Do I risk it and try to? Never mind. Look at this. Pint's possibly going to have a challenge up towards Griffiths here. He's getting alongside him as they crest the hill. He'll be on the outside. We've seen that doesn't tend to work through Griffiths, but that's very, very brave. And he keeps it within the lines just when he runs over the curb. Simoncic still alongside him. And Simoncic just keeps it in the cutting. That was humongously brave from both of them there. Very, very brave. Lesser drivers would have given up in either of their situation. And these are two fantastic drivers going at it for the lead of the race. Meanwhile, Andreas Lutis is in the pits again. Could this be race over for Lutis? Because this is the third time he's been in the pits, if you count the way he started from the pits. He actually had heavy damage coming into the pits. No, he didn't. That's just lag. Well, he must have had heavy damage anyway. Ooh, and that's because he'd had an accident in the chase. So Lutis had run wide and lost it on recovery. I'm not convinced that was the only accident he had on that lap. I think he had another, which is why he had such a difficult car to control in the first place. I am trying to keep an eye as well. Simoncic and Pines, the gap just under 0.4 of a second once again, just it has been for the majority of the lap. It's a truly wonderful chase. We're with them. It's Mayativ right in their tail as well. It's Mayativ less than a second off Pint all of a sudden. He was a lot further back last time I looked. Update on the Lutis situation. That was the only incident he had at that lap. So Andreas Lutis having an accident at the chase and having a lengthy pit stop to make up for it. But it is worth continuing because, first of all, if you can finish this race, it's an achievement and one that you should be proud of. And secondly, because I'm expecting attrition, you'll end up gaining places. Pine's not quite close enough to challenge into Griffin again this lap, but again within 0.4 of a second. I've said that almost every lap as they've passed the start-finish line, because the gap just hasn't been changing. Pine hasn't been relinquishing the pressure, and taking a slight look into the cutting. That was opportunistic. Up the hill again. No overtaking through this sector. It's very much single file unless your opponent makes a significant mistake. But in that case, it tends to be more of a case of avoidance than overtaking. So, 15 minutes of this race gone. That's a sixth of it. No, it isn't. I've got that completely wrong. It's an eighth of it. My apologies. Race even longer than I said. I don't know what went wrong with my mental arithmetic there, but anyway. I'm wondering whether Simoncic has a slightly faster car in the straights, because although Pines is close to him, and although he's never letting the pressure off, every time they got into a straight, Pines just isn't able to slipstream him. Meanwhile, Lutis is back on the road, and that's good to see. That means we do have no retirements. Everyone is still running. And in terms of races like this, we get the merrier. 17 drivers started. The only, well, we had 2 non-starters if you count the 19 drivers we had in practice. One was an Horror. Entirely sure who the other one was, but anyway, the race continues. The gap that last time round between Simoncic and was half a second, so it did come up slightly, but I think that's only temporary. It's very difficult to follow a car like that. But talking of following, look at Streamer and this it again. They've been extremely close here every single lap. And now, Streamer is on the left-hand side of Mifsud, who's on the right. Doesn't try to go around the outside like Pints did. And Mifsud keeps the position. Just shows you what an impressive job Pints did to run around the outside and not get it completely wrong, and also not chicken out, because... Sorry, I didn't mean to imply that Streamer chicken. But anyway. You know what I mean? It's like playing a game of chicken when you're going side by side like that into a corner such as Griffin. And getting it wrong can be catastrophic. Just noticed as well, they've got actually Bakers with them in that little scrap. Mifsud getting very sideways through the dipper, kicking up the tyre smoke. Sometimes at the circuit, the tyre smoke pass like it. All of it. Heinz closer than I expected to Simoncic towards the end of his laps. But I said, it's difficult to follow, but 1 minute the gap comes out, the next minute it comes in again. I've just noticed they're on different tyres here at the start. Christian Paints is on the yellow tyre, and Simonchich is on the purple. So I reckon Simonchich is on tyres here. He should theoretically be faster than Paints at that point in time, but maybe he's just having to turn the tyres more. Pretty sure the purple ones are softer anyway. Gonna see if there's anyone else on the yellows. Maciej Bakers is also on the yellows, as is Paul August Lerner, Nico Parry, Marco Holtzman, Jana Titus. So a lot of the drivers further back. Andreas Lutis too, that's to be expected. I'm surprised to see a difference in tyres, though I thought we'd be seeing everyone going up the harder of the two compounds. As I think Pints has done, that is, unless I'm getting the right. But I'm pretty sure that when I raced this car, my tyres were purple, and I always used the softest compound, so yeah. Ooh, contact between Holtzman and Parry. That was close up into to Griffiths there. Parry was on the inside, Holtzman was on the outside. Just came into each other mid-corner. They get away with it, didn't even touch the wall on that. Holtzman 12th, Parry 13th at the time being. Lucky drivers to have got away in one piece from that one, and a good save as well, because one of them went very, very sideways. Darn it, through Forest Elbow again. Pints will be trying to maximise the slipstream as much as he can. He may not be gaining that chin there, but he's still going to be tucking into that slipstream underneath the rear wing of Jani Simonchich, making all of the aero on Simonchich's car do the work for him. There's an area of negative pressure behind a race car such as this one. And that almost feels like it's sucking you forwards. Well, it does feel like it's sucking you forwards. Like a giant invisible plunger. Towards the end of another lap, and the gap is just half a second between the two leaders. Streamer trying to keep with Mifsud. Of course, he caught back into the telefilm after dropping back and going around. So we're now 20 minutes into this race, and it's time to read some YouTube comments. Carvane says, "Go Pence, go Eval." Well, Pence and Eval doing very, very well. Pence running in second place at present and challenging hard on the back of Jani Simonchich, as he has been away. Argo says, Pence top 7, only medium tyre. Indeed, that's what I thought, yeah. Only medium tyre compound, which is the harder of the two compounds that they're using at the minute. Carvana says, what happened with Pooh? Oh, that's the other driver who didn't start this race. Okay, so I'm afraid Pooh never started. Who else has posted some comments? Carvana says, okay, I'll go get some drinks. Yeah, you hydrated. And Pence is doing a good job, good pace. Yeah, indeed he is. Very good pace. Stick with Jani Simonchich on this medium compound tyre. Very impressive, in fact. Would be impressive even if he wasn't on the medium tyre, but good. Sticking with Jani Simonchich in the same car really says something about your ability. I'm quite amazed that I've never heard of Pence or Pints before. Not sure whether to say Pence or Pints, but whoever he is, I'm sure he's going to be having some pints after this one, seeing that he is as fast or faster than a Formula Sim Racing champion. There's the final corner again. We're about to see what gap. Pints getting slightly over the grass. Would have been less than 0.3 of a second without through Hellbend again, and up the hill. 0.3 of a second separated Semenchich from Paints on that last lap. What about Facebook comments? Have we had any of yours to check just yet? Of course, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Indeed, we have Peter Bugea, who I assume it's related to Matthew Bugea, and I do hope I'm saying that right. Says good luck to all drivers. Daniel Saliba says Sheldon Muscat, who I believe is what you mean, currently not having the best of races, running down in 16th position. But we'll see what he can do later on. And Max ASR Ferrari says, wow, spectacular race. Indeed. Bathurst is always spectacular, especially with touring cars such as this. It just looks so right. And we have had a comment now from Puke, who says, I had lag spikes suddenly, didn't want to be a danger on track. It's a shame. Hope to see you back next time. Yeah, that is a shame. Hope you can get that sorted. Technical issues are never fun. Right, here we go. Pints on Semenchich, gaining Darren McCon straight again. And again, not quite close enough, surely, as they go towards the chase. Of course, the danger there is if someone gets slightly too carried away, they can off into the grass, but both of them keeping it steady, keeping it sensible. Did Semenchich touch the wall? I think Semenchich may have touched the wall. Only a light touch, if it was one. I don't think he'll have any damage. Indeed, he doesn't. So towards the end of another lap. And a change going on further back. Holtzman fighting against Lana. And that was Lana getting it all wrong on the exit of the chase there. And now going into the pit. And this is about when I'd start to expect the first pit stop, so that does look like damage for Paul August Lana. So I expect that Lana's had an incident. I just had an update from Argotida. That's interesting. Argotida is someone who I've worked with in the past. He says he expects Pints to one stop this because of the medium tyres, and the only 2 stops. In fact, I said earlier in the stream that I'd be surprised if anyone did less than 3 stops. So looks as if I have got that wrong. Looks as if I've underestimated the tyre-saving capability of these cars and drivers. Lana, meanwhile, did have an accident on that last lap. He ran wide. Ooh, touched the wall. That's that. That is McPhillamy Park. He went bouncing off the barriers on either side. And while he kept the car pointing in the right direction, certainly didn't keep the steering pointed in the right direction, and the car has to be pitted. Meanwhile, Bugea side by side with Scott Muscat. That's a dangerous place. That's McPhillamy Park. Not the kind of place you'd want to go side by side, but makes it stick. Brave move from Sheldon Scott Muscat. And they've been side by side since Griffins. Oh my goodness, I've just looked back at the replay. They've been side by side since Griffins. Bugea got slightly sideways out of the cut, but only very, very lightly. Yeah, they were side by side for so long there. And Sheldon Scott Muscat finally pulled the move, but wow, that was a long fight. Goodness gracious me. We've had a mistake from Nathan Mister. Nathan has been off at the chase. Simply missed his braking point, ran over the grass, rejoined and lost the place to Harpite. That releases Harpite. We'll see if he can catch Bakers. Nathan missed it in the pits, and he has damage, so it wasn't just the chase that caught him out on that last lap. I think. I think he went off because he already had damage from somewhere. Indeed, he did. Whether that happened on a previous lap or just then, I'll see if I can find that out. Did touch the wall. He touched the wall in the S's. Not sure if he picked the damage up front. Didn't look heavy enough for that. Although, yeah, definitely had a bit of a touch with the barriers in the S's. He's in the pit lane at present. And it was Griffin's where it all went. He was side by side with Daniel Dreamer a lap ago. And, just missed his braking point. Touched Streamer's front and went bouncing off the barriers. And that's what did the damage. And that's why Nathan Mifsud has now dropped down the order. That's why he's in the pits. So several pit stops already occurring, although it seems, I presume that if Simoncic has got a two-stop strategy, then, okay, what's 120 divided by 3? So it's 40. That means I'm expecting Simoncic to probably pit for the first time about the 40-minute mark. So it's 10 minutes from now. We're just approaching the half-an-hour point in this race. A quarter of the way in, and still Simoncic and Pines. I'm not sure that they've been separated by a second at all this race. I think that for every even split second of this race, they've been bumper to bumper. Fascinating. This could go all the way. It could end up being a race of strategy in the end. Of course, I'd say that Pints is probably on the beneficial strategy here because, as he slightly overcooks it, gets very sideways. That was close. But I was going to say, I think Christian Pints' strategy seems better if he can make it work because it's difficult to overtake at Panorama, meaning if you're on the softer tyre and have to do takes, theoretically it's going to be harder for you. Mikael parry into the pits with damage, so another car getting caught out. This is the point in the race where drivers are really starting to struggle a bit. That was a chase. Overcooked it midway through after getting it on the grass. Into the mid. That's gonna hurt. Right in the Michelins. Of course, what tyres do these Subaru levels run? Dunlops. Okay, I believe I can be heard now. I just lost internet connection, so that's fun. I'll have to log back into the server again. My apologies. Right. Not sure entirely why that's happening. Got new internet the other day. It was supposed to be really good, like the reviews and everything. I won't say what provider it is, but it's supposed to be like the best. Anyway, I'll stop having a quick rant about that. I suppose I'll watch the live timing for a bit when my server loads up again. I've just noticed there's a little track map on the live timing screen as well. And if you want to see what I'm seeing, You can scroll up in the YouTube chat. World Pro Racing posted that a little while ago. You get a little, not track map, but you get to see like where everyone is in terms of distance through the circuit, and you also get to see their sector times and laps. Just a quick test, World Pro Racing guys, if you could give me a message if you can hear me properly. I just want to check since you know, I had to restart the internet and everything. And yeah, okay, confirmed that they can hear me okay. My sincere apologies about this, but anyway, yeah, World Pro Racing has posted the live timing again, if you want to see that, and very useful live timing site it is. Just noticed that Sean Scott Muscat's in the pits as well. Don't exactly know why that is. I don't think he was last time I looked, so that's neat. And he'll be dropping down the order. Was in 13th position due to other drivers making pit stops. But since we're now approaching 40 minutes in, we may be about to start seeing our first scheduled pit stoppers. Indeed, Matthew Baker's apparently is on his outlap. Does that mean he's just pitted, or does that mean he's in the pits? I mean, I know what outlap means, but I'm surprised as to why it's saying, confused as to why it's saying outlap on the live timing screen, since I don't think he's pitted at all. Never mind. In terms of fastest laps, Yoni Simoncic currently holds that, 2:16.887. Doesn't mean anything. There are no bonus points for that, especially since this isn't even part of a championship, so no bonus points, or points in general. And this race very much just for bragging rights, you could say. Just for practice, just for fun, just for a test. And if you do want to get involved in events like this, World Pro Racing runs them every now and again. And you can go to our website, or did expect you can find info about on the website. The website itself is www.worldproracing.com. You can check our calendar, see what events and championships we have upcoming, see if anything suits. Of course, we do have races not just on rFactor 2, which you're witnessing here, but also on Assetto Corsa. In fact, we started on Assetto Corsa, and you could say we specialise in it. And I'm expecting us to do events on other simulators in the future as well. Can't say what, hasn't been confirmed yet, but I'm sure the organisers have a few things in mind. They definitely have a few more events in mind. And very shortly, actually, we're going to be having the 2-hour finale of the GT Masters, World Pro Racing GT Masters by Enemed. And that's coming up on this channel that you're watching on as well. We do have a V8 Supercar Championship coming up on Assetto Corsa. Justin Mifsud reminds me. Thank you for reminding me of that. That's very, very nice. Do we have a calendar for that yet? I suppose if we do, it'll be found on the site. But yeah, World Pro Racing V8 Supercar Championship, I'm sure, is going to be very, very exciting. V8 Supercars always are. In fact, we do have a calendar for that. The first round is taking place on the 17th of December, and it's going to be at Donington Park. Nice. Interesting track for an Australian championship, but I suppose it's good that you get to see these cars going around circuits you don't normally see. They're also going to Albert Park, which of course is a famous Formula 1 circuit, which they do race at in real life, and then a couple of other Australian circuits as well, including Barber Gallo. Phillip Island, and then the finale, sorry, that's an interesting word, final. The finale is at Mosport in Canada. So if that tickles your fancy, then definitely head across and give it a go. Meanwhile, I know you're watching the battle again for the lead of the race. My apologies for not keeping up on it. If I did, I know it will be on delay since I'm still loading up my server, unfortunately. So if I miss anything, my sincerest apologies. I can see on the stream that Pints did go to the outside. Oh my goodness, went right around the outside of Yoni Simoncic at the top of the hill, touched the wall. Did he make it stick on the inside of the cutting? I think he did. Yes, he did. So wonderful move from Pints. My sincerest apologies for commentating on that in with a delay. But indeed, Pints leads our race. You've probably known about that for a while, but that's the first I've seen of it. And a fantastic, brave overtaking move from Pints there. No, it's not a problem with me being behind in time, so fast forwarding wouldn't help. It's that I'm not actually in the server, I'm just loading in now. And when I get in, I'm sure it's all going to be okay. Sorry about that. Just that when I lose internet or something, it does take a while to get going again. Gonna have to look into what these internet issues are caused by, but whatever the case, server just loading back in, and I'm sure that I'm about to see Christian Pints as the race leader, and there we go. So Pints leads, followed by Simoncic, then Yativ, Brolyak, Paresis, streamer Pitters, Vela, Holtzman, and Titus, the top 10. Maciej Bekas is in the pits, and this is when I'd start to expect drivers to make pit stops. Although is that his second stop? I think it might be. Anyway, Bekas still in the pits. Matthew Bugea is 12th place, followed by Sheldon Scott Muscat, then Paul August Lanett, Nathan Mifsud. Now, why is Nathan Mifsud dropped back so far? Did he pit? I think he did. Andreas Lutis is 16th, and then Mikael Parry, the only driver 2 laps down so far, is 17th position. But again, great to see everyone still running in this race, no one retiring just yet. I hope I'm not cursing it, but anyway. And if Argo Tida's prediction is correct, that means that Yoni Simoncic will likely pit in the next couple of laps. But I'm really starting to see that these drivers have the possibility to go for a one-stop strategy, and I really was not expecting that. I was expecting 3 stops for everyone, but clearly these drivers have set their cars up to be good at tyre conservation, which makes sense. Of course it does. Through Murray's corner, and Christian Pints will be classified as the leader, 0.6 of a second ahead of Yoni Simoncic, and will probably start pulling away from him because I can't imagine Simoncic's tyres will feel very good at this point in the race. Bekas, meanwhile, he's having a longer stop than I expected, and I'm expecting that is... Oh, and he's out. So Maciej Bekas was having lengthy damage repairs and now is out of the race. He is our first retirement. And unfortunately, I can't go back and have a look at exactly why that happened due to me leaving the session, but he must have had contact with the wall somewhere. And that is why we now only have 16 drivers in the race. Still fantastic to see that this race hasn't been the crash fest that I was fearing might occur. Because we're 42 minutes in and still we have 16 drivers on the circuit. And I'm afraid first one out of the race and sitting for the rest of the day in the pit garage. So Yoni Simoncic 0.7 of a second back from Christian Pints now, not dropping back as fast as I expected him to. I expect that these drivers are very evenly matched. But Pints clearly the quicker driver at this point in the race, despite kicking the tail out slightly there through the dipper, past the wall on the extra Forest Elbow. They've got a little bit of traffic coming up ahead there. That'll be... Is it Matthew Bouguet? No, it isn't. It's Andreas Lutis. But he's still a little way ahead, so I'm not sure they're going to catch him anytime soon. Especially if Simoncic pits sometime soon. Through the chase they go, over the curbs goes Simoncic. First time I've seen him doing that. This entire race, he's just been so smooth and so precise. Anyway, there it is. That's Lutis getting out of the way of them, going 2 laps down now. But we still have 11 drivers on the lead lap. 3 drivers 1 lap down, 3 drivers 2 laps down, including Maciej Bikas, who is out of the race. I say he's the first official retirement, although still Mikhail Parry needs to pass him. There we go, Mikhail Parry has got past where he got to. So Bikas now is officially going to be classified in last position. Dean Vella now in the pit lane. Is this for damage or is this for a change of tyres? Steering appears to be slightly hanging, although I think this is probably a change of tyres for Dean Vella, and nothing more dramatic. Pit stops in these cars won't be as long as you're used to seeing if you're a Formula 1 fan. And of course, they don't tend to do pit stops in BTCC. In fact, I'm not entirely sure how long we're expecting a pit stop to be. But anyway, Dean Vella gets the power down, and that looked about right, so Vella gets going, and I think that is the first scheduled pit stop of the day. Matthew Bouguet is in the pits now. Immediately following Dean Vella, pulling into his box, and stopping the car nicely. And a change of position there. Nathan Misters just got past Paul August Lana. Lana's got damage. Lana was going very slowly down the straight there, actually pulled out of the way for Mifsud. Lana really struggling to get it back to the pits here. And he's going to have to be careful not to slither off the road on pit entry. So Lana's had an incident. Going to look back at exactly how that happened. Probably happened at either the Dipper or Forest Elbow. Those tend to be places where you pick up injuries like that, pick up damage like that. And it was not either of those. So he was already struggling before he reached Skyline, in fact. So he's done this a long time ago. Did touch the wall slightly as he was going over the crest, although I don't think that was the incident I'm looking for. I think I'm looking for something. Oh. Did he go in at... I'm trying to see whether he went in at the cutting. I think he did, yeah. I think he bounced off the inside wall at the cutting and went into the outside as well. Oh, and also Hell Bend. Ran off the road at Hell Bend. Got into the wall. Side on. Oh, but the majority of the accident was caused on the previous lap and he missed the pit lane. That explains a lot, because I didn't think any of the contacts I saw on his last lap would have done that. He bounced down the wall on Conrad Straight 2 laps ago. Yeah, that makes so much more sense. And the initial incident, I finally found it. He lost control through the Dipper, went into the barrier on the outside. That does make a lot more sense than the initial story I'd fabricated. How Pitt is in the pits as well. Is that damage too? His steering looked to be hanging as he was coming in. Actually, no, it was just that he turned his wheel on as he'd stopped in his box. So I don't think there was damage for how Pitt is. That looked like a scheduled stop, but yeah, Paul Augustlana still sitting there in the box. That's a lot of damage to repair. And it's going to take him a while, I expect. Meanwhile, Simoncic... Oh, contact! Contact for the lead! Pines just keeps control! Oh my word, that got the blood pressure rising. Wow! Simoncic there went to the right-hand side. Pint didn't know he was there, he knew he was there. I think he tried to cover him off just a bit too late. Came across the front wing, came across the bumper of Yone Simoncic. They made contact, and that, as Pint gets over the grass now, that could have been so much worse. Could have been race over for Pint if he'd gone springing off the wall on the Comrade Straight. I just saw Simoncic getting side by side with Pints, and then suddenly Pints was almost sideways. But, it may have been Pints that made a little mistake, but a great save from him as well. Matt Grank says 0 to 10, not enough Maldonado. That was enough Maldonado for me. Calvana says some problems with Lana, he's very slow. Yeah, we sussed that. It was Lana bouncing off the wall at the Dipper that caused all of that. But anyway, so the race continues with Pint still somehow leading from Simoncic, getting over the grass a little bit, but he's okay. I think most of this is mainly just lag on my end. Yeah, my internet's not having the greatest of days. I hope I'm still coming through okay, but anyway. Down the other side of the hill they go again. The gap is 0.6 of a second this time. But if Simoncic does go for it again, I'm sure Pints will be a little bit more wary. And at least not move across that late if he sees him coming. Paul Augustlana has now rejoined the circuit. He's 3 laps down, but he's back in the race. That's good to see. Not giving up just yet. And continuing on his way. 50 minutes in, still no pit stops for the top 9. I believe everyone below the top 9's made a pit stop now, but still the top 9 drivers have got away with it. And again, Simoncic stays out. So I wonder whether both of these drivers are going to be going for one-stop strategies. It'd be amazing if Simoncic could do that on the softest tyre. I said that Bathurst isn't a hugely demanding track on tyres, and it isn't, but still. Wonderful job from Simoncic to keep his tyres like this, as well as everyone who's on those softer tyres. But I don't see why they wouldn't have stopped yet, unless they thought they could go to the end, or go for a one-stop. Simoncic now back to the inside of Pints, up towards Griffin's. I could see it coming from a while back. I think he just tried to scare Pints there, because backed out of it. Knew he was coming from far too far back, didn't want to make contact with them. Discretion, the better part of valor and all that. So, up the hill again. Again, all it takes is one little mistake from these drivers, and you're not getting away with it at Bathurst. But they've just been so clean, apart from that slight little touch, little rub between the two of them. It's just been so consistent. A masterclass of driving performance. And truly wonderful to watch. Meanwhile, I can inform you that Discord is back up and running. So if we have any Discord users watching along with us, you can now use that again. I mainly set that for the World Pro Racing guys who often communicate with me on Discord, but have had to do it elsewhere. Today, not a sponsor, but anyway, just wanted to let you know. Anyway, we're 52 minutes into this race now, out of 120, so we're getting close to the halfway point, and I'm now convinced that Simoncic is convinced that he can go for a one-stop strategy. The gap between Simoncic and Pints still be about 4 tenths of a second. Oh, it's less than that as they cross that finish line. It's just 3.5 tenths of a second, pretty much. And that's close. Griffins again. Pines has to be a little bit worried here, moves across to defend. He's over on the right-hand side. Simoncic is going to try and pull a pints on pints here. I was wondering whether Simoncic is faster in a straight line. I still think he may be, just about, and makes the move stick. So goes around the outside and does pull a pints on pints. Another brave move from one of our two leaders, Yanni Simoncic, back up to the head of the field. Ahead of Christian Pines, and you can't help but feel that this fight will likely go the full way. Of course, different tyre compounds, but they seem to be handling pretty much exactly the same. Simoncic was about as fast right from the start of the stint, and Pines is about, well, I was wondering whether Simoncic's tyres would have really started to hit the cliff by now, but they just haven't. Oh, as Pints goes wide, runs off at the dipper, keeps it under control, gained a little bit of time, needs to make sure he doesn't do that too much. 7 tenths of a second was the gap through the last checkpoint. Now as they head down the Comrade Straight again, Pints gets slightly sideways again. Little plumes of smoke coming off the tyres. That's normal, especially at first elbow. Of course, we were talking about tyres. We're on the correct sim for it, rFactor 2, the best simulator-related platform for tyre life. For tyre realism. The tyre models, the tyre dynamics, the way the tyres look when you watch them act at slow motion, the way they interact with tyre pressure, the road surface, all of that. It's just like nothing else in any other sim. It truly is wonderfully made. Meanwhile, Petr Brylyak is getting closer to Jim Paresis. They're just lapping a driver there. Lapping Sheldon Scott Muscat. That's the closest Paresis has been to... Brylyak's been to Paresis for a while. As Pints now drops to a second behind Simoncic. So for the first time in this entire race, I believe, the two leaders are separated by a second. It took them 55 minutes. That's incredible. Just shows you how close, how furious their lead battle was, and still may be for the rest of this race. Yeah, I think the other battle that is really brewing here is Paresis versus Brylyak. Not sure if any of the backmarkers, the lap cars, are close. No, not quite. They're just running their own race and trying to keep out of the way at present. And I think that as Simoncic and Pints seem to be separating a little bit, I think probably our attention should shift to Paresis versus Brylyak. We haven't seen much from either of these so far today because we've been too busy watching that lead scrap, and for good reason. But there are more than just two drivers in this race, and two of the others are about to have a ding-dong scrap further back. And you see him getting slipstream of Itmar Yatov as well. That's for position 2, because Itmar Yatov is on lap 25, the same as all of them. He's a little bit further ahead of them than they are to each other. Still, they'll be getting a little bit of a slipstream from him. Into the chase again. The gap for the lead separated out to 1.7 that last time around, and a lock-up from Paresis. And Brylyak's going to be the closest he's been since the start of the race now. Definitely a lock-up from Paresis there. Are his tyres starting to fade? It makes sense since he's on the softer compound, but then again, so is Brylyak. And so Simonchurch is now 2 seconds in the lead. Not sure why he's opening the gap out now, and not earlier on in the race, especially since theoretically the medium tyres should be faster later in the stint. But anyway, I'm sure these drivers know what they're doing. Although I am surprised to see Pints dropping back like this. Does he maybe have damage? It's hard to tell when he's going through the mountain section because cars always moving from side to side in an unusual manner. You have to really wait until they got on the Conrad straight to judge for sure. Not sure. I'm wondering whether Pints may be struggling a little bit. Maybe just not quite handling as well as before. I haven't seen him have any big hits on the wall yet so far. I've seen everyone brush the wall, but that's okay because that's Bathurst. You do that. So he's just about to reach a straight there. His right hand definitely seems a bit higher than his left hand. I wonder whether there is some damage there. How Pittis is... Well, he's in his garage, so I think How Pittis... Yeah, he's our second retirement. And How Pittis has driven into the pits and straight into his garage. Let's look back and see why he's retired. But that last lap, he must have had an incident somewhere. Well, either that or just given up, but anyway. He becomes our second retirement, joining Maciej Bekas. And that means we have 15 drivers still on track at present. Pittis got very, very sideways through the dip of that last time round. And I think bounced off the wall quite heavily in Skyline. Meanwhile, Jim Paresis makes his stop. So Jim Paresis into the pits at the halfway point in the race. So Paresis makes his stop. Brojak keeps going, and that's giving Brojak some breathing space. Remember, he was right on the back of Paresis not too long ago. Maybe Paresis pitting to make sure they didn't fight, but in the end he has given Brojak a little bit of clean air in front of him, a little bit of an opportunity to start pulling away, to start gaining that time. Carvana says Simonchurch is pushing very hard. Last lap was fastest. Well, you're right. It's a 2:16.564. That's very fast. I'm amazed to see drivers going this fast this late in the stint. Of course, yeah, the lowest on fuel they've been in the race so far, but still, these are soft tyres. These went off in 20 minutes when I did sprint races in them, but then again, that was sprint racing. Never mind. However, he's doing it, and Yanni Simonchurch may have found some magic to part of his hat. He's just catching another car to lap there as well. That will be Nathan Mifsud to go 2 laps down. But anyway, for the time being, he's okay. And continuing to lead us round and goes for another lap. So Simonchurch, yeah, surely he's doing it one stop now. I think there's no doubt about it. And that's why he's pushing so hard at this point, because he knows he's still got tyre life and he might as well use it before his stop. Christian Pints pits. So Pints, on the harder compound of tyre than Simonchurch, pits first. I wasn't expecting that. Pints makes his stop. And surely goes on to softer tyres. Unless the reason he's running harder tyres is because his setup simply can't handle those softer tyres over that long a distance. Petr Brojak also in the pits now from 4th place. Both of those stopped in the boxes. That means it's my Yativ goes up to second temporarily. Daniel Streamer up to third. Pint gets going on another set of hards, or mediums, sorry, but the harder compound tyre. And Peter Brejak is about to get going on another set of softs. Michael Holtzman also in the pits. Yeah, that's confusing from Pints, where he feels that he needs harder tyres, whereas Simonjic and all of his other rivals are in the softer tyres. I presume his setup's just not as good at tyre conservation. Anyway, it is what it is. Yana Titus is also in the pits. He was running in 9th position before he came in. And it looks as if, he was running in 8th position because he was ahead of Dean Velo, who's gone through now. And he's going to come out about 9th, so he's not going to lose that much at all. Yeah, Sheldon Scott Muscat's not going to go through, so he is going to come out in 9th position. Surely Yanni Simonjic comes in this time around. I wouldn't have thought the fuel tank would last much longer, and Simonjic pits. So, it's happened at last. Difficult pit entry here, look at that. That's a really, really tight chicane. With a wall just waiting to catch you. But yeah, Simonjic makes his pit stop in one of the car number 9. Actually, I'm not sure if those car numbers are correct, so I won't say that. But anyway, Yanni Simonjic, I expect, will come out about maybe 3 seconds ahead of Christian Pints. Itmar Yativ is in the pit as well, and I expect Daniel Streamer will, otherwise Streamer will probably inherit the lead temporarily. He'll be only the 3rd driver to lead this race so far, as well as alright, Streamer in the pits, so yeah, doesn't get to lead a lap. Simonjic exits. Where's Pints? Pints is coming across the line. Simonjic could have he's extended his lead, so Yanni Simonjic extends his lead. Daniel Streamer is going to come out 2nd. Streamer's jumped Pints. Now, how has that happened? Oh, Streamer didn't stop. Streamer drove straight through the pits. Was that a drive-through for Streamer, or did he just miss his box? Just not see his box, maybe. It's happened to me in the past where I've come into the pits and my box just hasn't been there. So that's why Streamer's coming in 2nd. He's not effectively in 2nd position at all. He just, I have to assume, had a drive-through. Andreas Litis also in the pits from 14th place, but that's confusing from Streamer. It has put a car between Simonjic and Pints, but actually Simonjic extended his lead to 8.4 seconds anyway. 7 if you count Streamer. That's bizarre and could affect Streamer's race here. Hopefully next time he pits his box is there. I'm not saying that is the reason that he didn't make his pit stop, but it could have happened. Oh, there's a car facing backwards! Look out, guys! Wow! Close. Streamer and Pints getting very, very bunched up due to Matthew Bigea, who was pointing backwards. That could be much worse. Pints now right on the back of Streamer and on fresher tyres too, so I expect this to be an easy-ish move because Streamer holding it for now, but yeah, goodness, that was close. Matthew Bigea struggling to turn his car back around again, and you can blame him because the dipper, not an easy place to turn the car around. He lost control midway through the dipper, went into the wall in the S's, and actually had to drive backwards up the road a bit. Simonjic had to take avoiding action. Whoa! Simonjic came around the corner and suddenly found a car pointing backwards, facing right at him. That is amazing! Amazing luck that he didn't go into there. Matthew Bigea drove backwards up the circuit just to find a safe place to turn around. What a palaver, but that's just what happens here at Bathurst sometimes. Pints did pass Streamer, And Streamer came into the pits again. Now, does he stop this time around? Yes, he does. Oh, his box is one of the first ones. I don't think he would have seen that the first time around. I think he would have expected his box to be later on in the pits. Ah, that's a shame. Matthew Bugea pits as well with damage due to that incident. Michael Parry also to the pits, as is Paul August Lana. And that means Simoncic is now in the lead, followed by Pints, who's back into second, Parisis back into third, then Brolyak and Yatov the top five. Brolyak is side by side with Parisis for third place. So this battle's picking up where it left off, with Brolyak on the back of Parisis, and this looks to be the closest fight on the track at this point in time over that podium position. So 68 minutes gone now. We're over halfway through this race. It's 120 minutes, 2 hours as a whole. Driver's now exiting the pits. Bugea is going to be sitting there for a bit longer because of the damage repairs. And I think he's going to be passed by Nathan Mifsud here. So Mifsud coming through. Yeah, indeed, that's a change for 11th position. Where's Michael Parry? Oh, he's got a long way to go. So I think Bugea is still going to come in 12th position here. Still, even finishing this race is nothing to be sniffed at. So if he can cross the line at the end of the race, he'll have something to celebrate. Now, what can Brolyak do about Parisis? He's in the slipstream, he's getting closer, they've got the chase coming up. And this is where you really start to feel the energy shifting in the car. First to the left, then to the front, then to the right, then back to the left again. As you turn, brake, turn, and turn. And that energy can sometimes shift itself in weird ways and make itself difficult to control. Across the start-finish line again. Brolyak less than 0.2 of a second off Parisis there. He's practically inside of him. Sorry, please ignore the fact that I said that. Up the straight now towards Griffin again. Under an advertising boarding. And Brolyak, ooh, wow. It was a battle of chicken. A game of last of the late breakers there. And Parisis kept it, but yeah, Brolyak definitely close. You've got Audi Sport banners to either side there. Of course, Audi, one of Subaru's main rivals in BTCC. Don't see any Subaru banners anywhere, but oh well. These cars are advertisement enough. Matthew Parry very nearly did get Matthew Bugea there. In fact, he might well, because he's got the overspeed. No, I'm not sure he is, but yeah, we're about to get a battle for 12th place between Matthew Bugea and Michael Parry. Bugea lost so much time in the stop there. Oh, and they've got... That's another driver on their tail. Is that car trying to lap them? It is, it's Jan Titus, so need to make sure they don't get in his way. There's another car getting involved with it. Ooh, contact, slight contact. Parry and Bugea there. It's close. Oh, and it was Paul August Lana who was getting out of the way. Lana now 4 laps down. And Parry and Bugea just getting away with it despite that light contact and all of that. And Titus might be feeling a bit aggrieved here. There'll definitely be blue flags waving. That certainly would have been at the start of the lap anyway. But I'm more interested still in Parisis and Brolyak, because I'm sure that something's going to change between the two of them soon. It seems that Brolyak's very strong out of hell-bent here and up the straight towards Griffin's. Seems to challenge almost every time here. And I think he may challenge again because he's got a face full of slipstream. I'm sure if you could if you could see air, you'd be seeing some wonderful streamers flying past these cars and straight over the top of Peter Breuillac, because that is how the slipstream works. Breuillac getting a better exit to Griffin's, taking a look to the right-hand side of the cutting, making sure that Paresis doesn't get a good entry to the corner, trying to unsettle him, sorry. But not able to get completely alongside him there. And Paresis keeps third position. And they've been caught by Itmar Yativ, so this is a three-way fight now for third position. Yeah, definitely. So three cars going for one place, going for one medal, I suppose you could say. It's no physical medal, but still, the podium's what you really want to push for. Only one of these drivers can get it so long as Simchic and Plains continue at the pace they're currently at. Now, down the Conrad straight, this is going to be interesting. Yativ will probably be the fastest of these three drivers by the end of the straight, probably like the second fastest, and Paresis the slowest. Shadman's got Muscats in the pits. Wow, he lasted a while. Nathan Livingston also in, I think for the second time maybe. Close. Breuillac very nearly got it there. Took a look. He didn't very nearly get it, but he was very close anyway. Yeah, I think that is the second stop from Nathan Livingston. Interesting. Unless I'm very much mistaken. To quote a certain commentator who's very popular in Australia and always was, and hopefully always will be. So, Paresis, Breuillac and Yativ covered by just a second and a thousandth of a second as they crossed the line at that last time around. And that shows you just how close these drivers raced the entire way through. And can you imagine driving a track this twisty in this close competition with someone at this kind of speed? If you've done it, you can, and you know how hard it is to keep that concentration. And if you haven't done it, well, you don't, but take it from me, you get out feeling like your brain's on fire sometimes. And yeah, certainly not advised for people who get stress-related migraines. But anyway, of course, driving, they say, is a stress reliever, and it certainly can be. But it can also be a real stress inducer when you're fighting in a pack like this, even though it's exhilarating and exciting. That's why we love it. Anyway, Breuillac with another good slipstream, this time an even better one. He goes to the left-hand side of Jim Paresis, driver's left, towards the chase, over on the outside of the first kink. Wow, going side by side through there is brave. They both break at the same time. And Paresis muscles him wide. That's good. That's very good there. See, I thought Breuillac was going to overshoot that, because when two cars break at the same time, and one's on the racing line and one isn't, the one who isn't does tend to skate straight on. But oh, he made it. So good driving from both of them there. But Paresis kept ahead. These two are rivals in GT3 Masters. Of course, both drivers of both Aston Martin drivers, I believe. In fact, I think these two are teammates. Yeah, unless I've got that completely wrong. I think they're Edge Esports teammates. Just had an update. Yes, indeed, they are Edgy Sports teammates in G3 Masters, so maybe not properly rivals, but anyway, Bugay and Parry fighting hard there. They just came together slightly at the chase. Bugay staying ahead for the time being. That was pretty close. Thanks for the update there, Justin. Sorry for my lack of memory. Should be able to remember this stuff as a commentator, but it tends to come to me at the time. Whatever the case, still, Paresis leading a chain. Brolyak and Yatev immediately behind him as they head towards the forest elbow one more time. This is the 34th time of asking. 34 laps at Bathurst, not bad. Not bad at all. We've still got plenty of time to go as well. We're not even 2/3 of the way in. Petr Brolyak with the slipstream again. Getting alongside Jim Paresis just as he did a lap ago. This time he's slightly ahead. This time he's got his nose ahead. This is looking even more promising for Petr Brolyak. Keeps it off the grass, that's important. And wide goes Paresis. Touches the grass slightly. Brolyak over the curb. They're still side by side heading down to Murray. It's Brolyak on driver's inside, on driver's left, and Paresis on driver's right. And it looks to me as if Brolyak's going to have this for the time being. So Brolyak finally fights his way past Jim Paresis, but Paresis comes back at him on the inside, locks up, and into the gravel goes Brolyak. Brolyak just keeps side of the wall. It's my Yatev now up into position. Paresis basically startled him off the road there. And now Yatev might get both of them because Yatev is taking a look on the straight. Oh, he's on the grass! Not able to find a way through that. Paresis maybe weaving a bit on the straight, but still Yatev there getting over the grass. That was ambitious. Goodness me. This is racing at Bathurst at its absolute finest. I'm not sure whether that does count as overweaving for Yatev, because if you, for Paresis, because if you look at where he placed his car, he was actually keeping it in pretty much a dead straight line. It's just the way his car was angled that meant wherever Yatev tried to go, Paresis was there. And to be honest, that's actually really good defending from Paresis there in a straight line. He just knew where to place his car so that he wouldn't have to weave across the road to defend, but it would still effectively act as more than one move of defense. That's really good from Jim Paresis there, and you can tell how experienced he is. It's my Yatev on the exit of the corner. Down the straight. They've got away from Petr Brolyak a little bit. Brolyak dropping back. It may be between Paresis and Yatev for that third position now. Here comes Yatev. Backside of it. Again in the chase. Paresis just has to measure on the brakes. So, 2/3 of the way into this race now, just over 80 minutes in. Yoni Simoncic still leads by 10 seconds now from Christian Plains. Shame to see that battle's dissipated and spread, but, well, it was very, very fun while it lasted, and Simoncic pulled a great move to finish it off. Jim Paresis is in third, 20 seconds back from Plains, and he is fighting still with Itmar Yatev and Petr Brolyak. Dean Velenar is in the pits. Is that for the second time? I think it may be. Yeah, that is the second time. So Dean Vela making his second stop. Daniel Streamer is seventh, about to be sixth. There he goes, passing Dean Vela, who's still in his box. Marco Holtzman goes up into seventh. Jan Titus might claim 8th if Dean Vela sits there for longer, maybe if it's damage repairs or something. Jano Titus, is still running in 9th position. And yeah, he's going to take 8th here. a little bit aggressively there. But anyway, Dean Vella is now coming out of his box, but down in 9th position. Sheldon Scott Muscat still running in 10th. Ooh, touches the wall as I say that. Little bump. That's the kind that'll dull you a moderate shock. Maybe some very light damage. 11th place, Nathan Mifsud. It was more competitive towards the start of the race, and it started to go a little bit downhill while I wasn't looking. Matthew Bugea has been in the thick of it. He's 12th, and it's Mikael Parry, Andreas Lutis, Paul August Lana, 4 laps down. He's had a lot of issues so far, although still running, not giving up. That's good to see. And the retirement so far are Harry Pittiers and Mathieu Begas. So, the main fight on this track at the minute is still that one over 3rd, 4th, and 5th. They're the only cars currently in combat on the circuit. Dean Vella's trying to catch up to the back of Jan Titus again, and he's on fresher tyres, so I wouldn't be surprised if he catches him before long, although they're not directly in combat at present, like Paritas, Yativ, and Broyak will restart. But I expect Vella will probably be close enough to Jan Titus shortly, with all due respect to Jana. Or Jana, sorry, I think those are 2 A's. It's always hard to tell in rFactor, but anyway. Yeah, Jana. The gap between all 3 of them, Parisis, Yativ, and Broyak, is just 1.5 seconds once again, as it has been since Broyak got back up to the tail of them again, which he did pretty quickly after his mistake. And he won't feel that Yativ got ahead of him completely fairly, because I expect Broyak will feel that he was forced off the road a bit by Parisis. Don't want to put words in his mouth there. He may feel that he made a mistake on his own. Through the dipper again, right up close to the wall goes Parisis. He's just got so much confidence in his car, which you have to have at Bathurst, because if you don't, you're going to be nervous the whole way through. You're going to be fighting it, and you're going to be far too slow, and probably stress yourself out as well. You have to be confident in your car. You have to be smooth with it, because that's how you finish at Bathurst. And I know it's a cliche, but it's true that to finish first, you must first not die. Yativ getting the run on Parisis again. It looks to me as if he's setting up a move into Riffin. Yeah, you can tell he's just trying to be as smooth as possible and get the best exits that he can out of these 90-degree corners at the bottom of the hill. I think we may be about to see at least an attempt at a slipstream manoeuvre here from Itmar Yativ. Yativ, a driver who we've seen being very quick in single seats in the past. I don't think we see much from him in touring cars just yet, but we're certainly seeing a lot from him today. And he's challenging the big guns, flashing his lights there at Jim Parisis. Parisis, going a little bit wide. Talking of lights, you see the sun setting slightly in the distance. Not entirely sure how deep it's going to get. Oh, Yativ dives! Yativ dives! Surely he's come from too far back. That's very, very ambitious. And Parisis had the inside for the next corner, the frog hole. Oh, that could have been so bad. If Parisis hadn't seen him coming and turned in like normal, he certainly would have spun across the Yativ's front and probably blocked the entire road. But they get away with it, just about. But yeah, that would have kept Parisis awake. We have now had Matthew Bugea into the pits again. So 4 points for Vigea, potentially. He pitted for damage repairs not too long ago. He had another incident, maybe. Didn't see too much damage on his car coming into the pits, but anyway. He will likely drop behind Andreas Lutis. Or is it, I think it's Loatis or Lartis? I don't think there's a 2 R's there. I think one of them's an A. For Andreas. And Andreas now getting out of the way of a driver going through. We've now had a warning for Itamar Yatov. Now what's that for? Well, Yatov's been... Well, that's because of the dive, isn't it? Yeah, that's because of the dive that he launched on... Oh, a warning for Paresis? Okay. Yeah, what... I mean... Okay. Was that for the contact with Yatov? I don't think it would be. Or maybe, Well, actually, Paresis and Yatov just got very close through the chase there. They actually made slight contact. Yatov went over the grass, was lucky to get it slowed in time. And again, I don't think that was on Paresis. So if we can have confirmation for why Paresis has this warning, that would be very handy. But anyway, I don't mean to question the stewards' decisions. It's fantastic that we have live stewards with us, and they know how much I appreciate them. But anyway, just a little bit confused. That's all. Whatever the case, the race continues. Paresis still ahead of Yatov, who's still ahead of Brylyak for the time being. Okay, so the warning was to keep his tracing line when he went wide and closed off the corner into my Yatov. So I presume what these stewards... Oh, never mind, hold on. We've got Yatov side by side with Paresis on the Comrade Straight. It looked to me as if Paresis... Yatov made a slight mistake, I think. Went for a dive from a little way back, went into the side of Paresis there through Forest Elbow. I think probably missed his braking point. And now, as they go down through the chase, he's going for it. He's properly going for it now. Yatov on the inside, and off goes Paresis. Yatov left him no room, just dives straight through. And Paresis was forced off onto the grass. Oh, Paresis will feel aggrieved about that one. As I was going to say, I think these stewards say that Paresis left the door wide open in the cutting, and then when Yatov went for it, closed the door off. Personally, I have a different opinion, but I'm not a steward, so I respect the steward's decision. And as I say, it's great that we have live stewards here watching along with us. Now we have Petr Brylyak going for it, my Yatov, taking a look to the driver's left, up towards Griffin Bend, turn 2, and we've seen. Yeah, okay, Yatov gets the place, keeps the position by being brave later on the brakes. Tends to be 50-50 into that corner. If you get side by side with someone, either you can be brave and hold it around the outside, or you can be brave and hold it up the inside. It seems really a matter of who's willing to give in and who's not. But anyway. So, over Skyline, again, very, very close, and Jim Paresis waiting to pick up the spoils if anything else happens with these guys. Little way behind them as well, we have a fight between Titus and Vela that I was talking about. Titus, oh, look at Vela closing off Titus down the straight. That's actually, now it opens the door. I don't think he was able to that place there with Vela. I think that if Titus had wanted to keep shutting the door, he could have done. Oh, they banged doors slightly through Griffin's Bend there. But yeah, Titus keeps the place anyway. Good, brave defense. And I love the way he covered him off initially. Yatev under attack again from Brilyak. Yatev, third place in this race so far, and I think this would be his first World Pro Racing podium of 2019, if I remember correctly. Not sure if I do, but anyway. So, as they complete their 40th lap of the race, Brilyak again sizing up his opponent. When a driver looks to the side of the opponent's car and before the braking zone, often that's firstly so they can see the braking zone better, and secondly, just to see if they can worry their opponents, make them go defensive. Here it goes. It's Yatev. Well, he was very, very defensive up that straight. That's going to set him up badly for the exit, but here comes Petr Brilyak. Almost put his car alongside him. And not quite. Very close, not quite. So Brilyak still biding his time. Well, not biding his time at all, but having to, even though he doesn't want to. Vela and Titus side by side again. Vela going for the switchback, going to the underside. Oh no, they're going to come together. Okay, well that was great there. That was really, really great from Titus to keep the steering open enough so that he didn't spin. Just covering Vela off on the inside. Knew that Vela wasn't enough inside him to go for the move. Knew that he had the position. Vela now on the inside again, and he's still going to be alongside him on the exit of Comrade. But actually, that was a masterclass of touring car style defense from Yuna Titus there. Now, yeah, as they head up towards turn 2, I think Vela might have this here. He's on the outside. He's got the fresher tires. And makes it stick. So great move from Vela, great defense from Titus before that. But when you have a car on fresher tires like that with the slipstream, it's hard to hold them back. And Dean Vela gets up into 8th position. That was probably one of the races of the race so far between that bunch of cars. Very much enjoyed that one there. But anyway. Over the curb slightly goes Brilyak there, showing you just how much he's pushing to try to catch up to Yatev. Carvana let us know just a while ago in the YouTube chat that Pints made the fastest lap of the race. Let's have a look at that. 2:16.214. He said that 10 laps ago. Did Christian Pints. And that is faster than Simoncic's 2:16.306. And I think those may be the only drivers who have got into the 2:15s. 2:16 so far. Indeed, they are. Yeah. So those two trading fastest laps. And going very, very quickly indeed. Pints back within 10 seconds of Simoncic now, but yeah, it looks to be too little too late unless Simoncic has a problem. I'm also wondering whether... no, I doubt Dean Vela can catch Marco Holtzman before the end of the race. There's about 17 seconds between them, so no, that looks to be a little bit... 23 seconds, yeah, so definitely that's not going to close up unless Marco Holtzman has a problem there. More likely, the changes are going to be made for 3rd, 4th and 5th. And possibly between some of the cars that are a lap down as well. Although none of them particularly close at this point in time. Still 9 cars on the lead lap of the race, and no one in danger of getting lapped just yet. No one else in danger of getting lapped just yet, sorry. Paris is dropping back a bit from the tail of Petr Brilyak. It's to be expected because, again, it's very difficult to follow a car at Bathurst. It takes a lot of bravery to get right up close and personal under their rear wing. So, on to another lap of the race. We'll see what the gap is between Yativ and Brylyak. Lap 42 completed, on to lap 43 now. The gap was less than 4 tenths per second. Brylyak has the slipstream. Would have DRS if this was Formula 1, but it isn't. But still, slipstream very effective anyway, as it is in all cars which go this kind of pace. Yativ running ever so slightly wide, but Brylyak taking a shallower line through the cutting, not getting close enough to it. Now Yativ was very aggressive in his overtakes to get past Paristas and Brylyak, but made them stick, and is running in 3rd position. Often not the best of strategies to go properly offensive at Bathurst, because, as I said, you really don't want to damage your car. It can throw all sorts of things off. Because you don't want to be going down this bit, the S's, the dipper, with a damaged car. However, it can also be an advantage to go aggressive at Bathurst, because it's a difficult course to overtake at, so you have to make opportunities when you can't capitalize on opportunities. Meanwhile, Christian Paints has brought the gap for the lead back down to 8.4 seconds. I still think it's too little too late, but he's certainly gaining back faster than I imagined. I think he knows he's got to push at this point. Bulldogs Lanner, I'm afraid, is now 5 laps down and struggling. Although, again, props to him for continuing. So, still the main fight, Brylyak versus Paristas. We have 1 car 1 lap down, that's John Scott Muscat. 2 laps down, Nathan Nussid and Mikael Parry. 2 are 3 laps down, Bijay and Lutus. 1's 5 laps down, that's Lerner. Here comes Brylyak now. He's on the inside, or the outside it will be for Griffin, sorry. So he's on the outside. And often, if you can be brave there, you can make it stick. Yativ getting a little bit sideways on the exit, Brylyak checking up. I think if he'd known that was going to happen, he could have anticipated it, but, well, I mean, that is kind of how anticipation works, but, you know what I mean, could have made the use of it. Still stuck behind, it's my Yativ over Skyline. It's my Yativ, one of the drivers who joined World Pro Racing back in early 2018 with Sim Racing Middle East, I think. Joined in with his friends, his other friends from. Oh no, I'm getting him confused with Jamal Gander, I think. My apologies. He's from Israel. I joined in with some other Israeli friends, and he appears to be the one that keeps coming back. Of course, took pole in his first race, I believe, which was the Formula 4 challenge we did at Montreal, if I remember correctly. He's always been a quick competitor ever since. To Brylyak though, faster in the slipstream. But again, well, this has got to be frustrating for him. Because at Bathurst, the only real places you can pass into the chase, maybe into Griffin's too. And if you can't pull one there, you have to wait another 2 minutes before you get another opportunity, pretty much. And we haven't really got that much longer in the race in the grand scheme of things. Just 18 minutes to go now. So, Brylyak, better exit. Yativ, slightly slower. Brylyak alongside him, going to the left. as they crest the hill, this is very much like it was last time around. Of course, Yativ had the drive, had the braking power on the inside last time around. This time, Brolyak's being more assertive. But when the driver on the inside is assertive as well, really much more you can do because they have the shorter route through the corner. Locks up, Jim Paresis now right back with them. So that's put Jim Paresis right back into the fight. It would have been helped by them going side by side through Griffins for the last couple of laps. Brolyak has his lights on now, so possibly the sun continuing to go down. I don't think it'll get properly dark before the end of the race. It'd be interesting if it did, but anyway. Through the twisty S-bends, Yativ beating Brolyak by about probably 0.6 per second. Brolyak logs up, Paresis is just behind him by about probably 0.6 per second, maybe 7. Onto the straight again. I doubt there'll be any overtaking opportunities this time around, but it's getting close. My apologies. Anyway, so yeah, interesting to see that the fastest laps aren't being set at the starting distance when I didn't expect them to. Of course, Silincic was fastest right before he made his pit stop, and yeah, he did set his fastest lap not too long afterwards. Although Christian Peitz's first lap came probably about 12 or 13 laps into his stint. Yativ only recently set his. It was only 2 laps ago. That's why I brought this point up, and that's because he's being pressured from behind by Petr Brolyak, who is determined to get past, determined to get that podium. And he goes to the outside. The driver who won 2 races in a row in WPR GT3 Masters, the only driver to over. And Itmar Yativ keeps the place again, despite the fact they've been side by side through their 3 laps in a row now. Of course, it's never really a good idea to attempt the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, but in sim racing you can sometimes chip away at someone else's resolve, chip away at their stamina, and eventually get it. That's what Petr Brolyak's trying to do here. Of course, it doesn't help him that, again, there really aren't that many overtaking opportunities on the Bathurst lap, which is why you have to jump, why you have to launch when you can, and why Yativ went for those dives earlier on. Forest elbow again. Occasionally an overtaking opportunity, but very rarely. Out onto the Conrad straight. Again, I don't think there's going to be an overtake this time around. They're just not close enough. The gap for the lead, 7.3 seconds, but with just 14 minutes left. He'd need to gain a second every 2 minutes. Yeah, and then actually get past him as well. That's very, very difficult. Especially since as soon as Silincic sees him getting close, Silincic is going to pick up the pace himself. I suppose Paints just wants to put a bit more pressure on him. So, here we go up towards Griffins. Again, this is where Brolyak has been able to get alongside Yativ 3 laps in a row. Can we make it 4 from 4? I think so, actually. Here comes Brolyak again. Once again in the slipstream, his lights blaring. Once again getting onto the grass. Seen him doing that a couple of times. Over the crest of the hill, goes to driver's left again. Into the pits comes Sheldon Scott Muscat, but I'm still looking at Brolyak versus Yativ. And again, Yativ, brave on the inside. Nothing Brolyak can do. Yativ is the world's most most difficult moving target, you could say. Although, apart from, although instead of trying to hit this moving target, you just want to get through it or past it. Over skyline, Brilliant. Well, breaks earlier than Yativ there, and I have done the same thing. You never want to misjudge your opponent going into a corner like Skyline. It wouldn't end well. Can you imagine the in February every year? Sorry. They run a 12-hour race here, an endurance race, which is multi-class. Can you imagine if we had another class of cars on track here today? How difficult that would be, how much carnage that would be. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for drivers who do this in real life. It's dangerous, it's tricky, and sometimes it goes very wrong indeed. But yeah, and they start the race at night as well. And Brilliac's pitting, so Brilliac's not going to be able to make it to the end of the race. He's used up, I'd say probably fuel at this point. I think his tyres were looking fine. I think Brilliac's misjudged the fuel. He's coming into the pits. Sheldon Scott Muscat looks to be damage repairs because he's been in for a long time. Brilliac stops the car. He's already been passed by Parisis. So now Parisis can have a go at Yativ again. Now, will Daniel Streamer get ahead of Peter Brilliac? Probably not. Sheldon Scott Muscat exits the pits. He's just been... Well, he's coming out in 11th place, so he's behind Nathan Mifsud. And, yeah, that was... Well, I'm surprised to be seeing Peter Brilliac pitting at this point in the race. I think Streamer might overtake him here. Yeah, I think Streamer's going to be 5th. And considering Brilliac was about a minute ahead of him, about 50 seconds actually. Yeah, that's a big blow for Brilliac. Is he going to be passed by Holtzman? Yeah, surely. Wow. It's a long stop for Brilliac. I'm not sure whether he intended for it. Well, maybe damage repairs. He didn't appear to be struggling too much, so I'd be surprised if it was. Marco Holtzman goes up to 6th place now. Team Vella's going to be 7th. I'd be surprised if he deliberately meant to repair the damage. Maybe he accidentally... And he's out! Peter Brilliac is out of the race. I think he must have accidentally left damage repair on. That's a shame. He was fighting for the podium. Could have got it too. And that's the end of the day for Peter Brilliac. So that puts Yana Titus up to 8th, Nathan Mifsud up to 9th, and Sheldon Scott Muscat up to 10th eventually when they catch up to where Brilliac was in about 2 laps' time. But yeah, that's dramatic and very, very disappointing for Peter Brilliac. So, the battle is now Itamar Yativ versus Jim Parisis for 3rd position. I've also noticed Christian Pines lost about 2 seconds to Yone Simonchit, so I think he's made a mistake somewhere. And yeah, it won't really affect the order much. I don't think he was going to win the race anyway, but still. I think that pretty much confirms it if it wasn't confirmed already. Less than 10 minutes to go in this race now. And yeah, been an exciting battle for 3rd position. Shame that Brilliac's not still in it, but I'm sure that Parisis versus Yativ is still going to be a fight to remember. And even if this falls flat, we had Simonchich versus Pints in the early stages to remember this race by. Simonchich has been dominant since then. Very stable, very impressive, and very fast too the entire way through. He may not have the fast, but well, he's close. Oh, and he does have fast lap now. He just said it on the last lap. I was saying earlier about how the first lap seemed to come out of nowhere at the time you least expect them. Maybe Simoncic saw points getting closer and just decided, hey, I'm gonna go for it. But anyway, yeah, wonderful lap from Simoncic. 2:16.209. I remember in qualifying we were talking about drivers getting into the 2:15s maybe. 6 drivers did in the end. Could Simoncic get into the 2:15s in the race? That'd be quite something. Especially this late on the soft tyres. It's been an unpredictable race, put it that way. Right when you think you know who's going to be fighting and where, it all changes. Despite the fact, of course, we had a fight for the lead 55 minutes of the race, it's made no difference. So Nathan Mifsud now passes where Petr Buriak got up to. He is up to 9th position in this race now. Sheldon Scott Muscat about to go up into 10th place. Of course, we know this already because Petr Buriak won't be taking any further part. Jim Paris is then locking up into turn 1. He was about 0.6 of a second behind Yatov. I think he's probably second back now. And I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to attack in the late stages. Yatov seemed very, very strong. And even if other drivers seem faster than him, he's just able to hold them in a position where they can't get past him. Especially up into Griffin. It's just no getting alongside at Yatov. Well, there's getting alongside at Yatov there, but there's just no getting past him on the exit. I suppose the chase is a possibility if you have a fast run down the Coppenwood Straight, but yeah, very difficult. The skyline again. This is the highest point on the track. Not entirely sure quite how much higher than at the lowest point on the track, Murray's it is, but well, they don't call it Mount Panorama for nothing. It's very, very steep, and that's the part that I'm not looking forward to when I go to Bathurst, which won't be in the next couple of years, but definitely on my bucket list. Down the Comrade Straight, it goes down, then up, then down again. Is that Itma Yatov flashing his lights to the back marker there, saying, hey, I'm here, be careful, let's pull over his Lana. Lana on the grass, and gets out of the way nicely, so those drivers go through and aren't held up by him. Lana, a much faster driver in single seaters, I'll tell you that. With no disrespect to him, just hasn't had a good day for racing, you could say. But yeah, it definitely seems to suit single seaters better than touring cars. He's faster than me in a single seater, but we've never raced. But his lap times are just, yeah, quite impressive. It's just a shame that here at Bathurst, his lap times have been very inconsistent and pretty disappointing. But as I keep saying, it's an achievement to finish the race here. And it looks to me as if we're going to get 14 drivers finishing. That is hopefully anyway, because we've got 14 on track at the minute. 3 retirement. I'll be gutting to get another one this late on. Slight touch the wall for Jim Paresis, but you do that at Bathurst. These cars are tough enough to withstand little blows. Well, not even blows. Little kisses like that. Paresis there, did he just flash his lights at Yatov? I think he may have done. Little bit cheeky, but wasn't an excessive. Well, it wasn't excessive flashing. You often see drivers going flash, 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 and things. But a lot of the series have banned that kind of excessive flashing, and well, since he's not doing it on Comrade, I'm not entirely sure if he meant to distract Yatta there, or if he was just testing his headlights to see if he had them on or not. He doesn't, but the race is almost over, so I don't think he's going to need to. Simoncic has just started what could be the final, I think it will be the final lap of the race. So the timer is ticking down. Still got just over a minute left on the time. Yeah, I think almost definitely this is going to be the last lap of the race. Although I think it's going to go... Oh, Paresis there touched the wall. Paresis, that was a harder lick than you're used to. Got over the curb on the exit of Murray's and did... Yeah, he got into the tyre wall. I expect there'll be some... Oh, yeah, damage. There's damage on Paresis' car. Luckily, he's only got one lap to go, but... Yeah. It's cost him any less chance of fighting with it's Mayativ, I'd say. Yeah, that could have been so much worse there. Especially if he'd done it earlier in the race. And we've lost... Oh no, never mind. That was just Petterbro leaving the server. He was already out of the race, so we don't have to worry about that. My apologies. Time is about to tick down, so let's watch Yanni Simoncic. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him, but I think they should see him coming or across the line before he does. And that'll be Jan Titus, I believe, so the last driver on the lead lap. And into the chase goes Yanni Simoncic. I don't think I've seen him putting a foot wrong all day. He's going to win by 18 seconds because Christian Paints has suddenly lost 10 seconds, so I think Paints had a spin or something. But yeah, Yanni Simoncic has dominated 2 hours of the Mount Panorama circuit. He fought hard with Christian Paints, and look at that, he's going to coast across the line, celebrating by the pit wall. Yanni Simoncic wins a wonderful, wonderful race. And actually, he wasn't coasting across the line. He wasn't celebrating. He was waiting for the timer to tick to 0, so he didn't have to do another lap. That was very very clever. Christian Paints is going to finish a great P2. Great job from him as well. Not sure where time in the end, but still really wonderful performance. Itamar Yativ is going to be 3rd place. He's got some traffic there, but anyway, he's going to be finishing in P3. He's just got one more corner to go. It's been a great drive from him as well. Very aggressive overtaking, but it worked. And P3 goes the way of Itamar Yativ. Jim Paresis, despite going into the wall, going onto the final lap, finishes in 4th position. Daniel Streamer drove a consistent race. We didn't see that much of him after the fight he got involved in earlier on, but still, Streamer has been driving his own race and hasn't got into any significant incidents. Probably touched the wall once or twice, but then again, they all did. And while we're waiting for the final few drivers to finish this race, we're just getting ready for some interviews, and we're going to start with the 2nd place driver, Christian Paints. So, Christian, you really raced hard with Yanni in those early stages.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised that he had quite slow pace, but as soon as I understood that he was going to do only one pit stop, then I understood his pace.
Yeah, well, I noticed that you started on the medium tyre, whereas Yanni softer tyre. Did you expect that the softer tyre could do a one-stop strategy, or did that surprise you?
I was really surprised because when I practiced with softs, then I really soon realized that this wasn't the best option for one stop. But yeah, I was surprised.
And those fights you had with Yanni up towards Griffin's Bend, the corner turn 2 at the top of the straight, those were fantastic. Just the bravery you showed there, going around the outside of him on one occasion, and yeah, How much bravery does that take?
Yeah, I took some bravery because I didn't want to do any stupid mistakes, and it was my first appearance on such an event, so I was careful and I was doing my best. It seems that I maybe should have passed him earlier and tried to do my own pace, but I don't know. It was okay.
After the pit stop, of course, you seem to drop back, then start to catch up again, then drop back again. What's happened in the late stages?
I saw that he was losing a bit time, or he was maybe managing his pace, and then I tried to push a little bit, but it just ran out of time, and I didn't have enough time, and my tires started to worn out also.
Fair enough. Well, still, great job, second position, and welcome to World Pro Racing. I'm sure you should be happy with that. Second place on your first outing, you know.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Well, great to hear from Christian Painstead. Thanks for the interview. I think we should save our winner till last. So if we have Itmar Yativ, Itmar, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Jolly good. So Itmar, you finished third in that, and it seemed to really come out late stages though with some aggressive overtakes that worked, and you ended up in third position. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I'm so happy. It's my first time interview, and I'm so happy. I want to take God, my wife, Justin, and everyone, but probably we don't have time. Basically, I was trying to manage my tires because I didn't know what will happen with the tires below 10%, and I was just trying to keep my place and manage my tires. And yeah, I don't remember the guy, but he was blocking me very strongly and violently. So I told myself I must overtook him to do it, and just did it. That's it.
Well, you sent it, and you sent it straight to the podium. So you said it's the first time you've finished on the podium with World Pro Racing. You've had pole position with us in the past as well. We were expecting to have the pace be on the podium today, and how much practice did you do for this event?
Actually, I wasn't doing a lot of practice at all because I'm concentrating on my GT3 Masters campaign and almost didn't drive this car with this track. So that's really good surprise for me. Really good.
Well, you did a wonderful job, and P3 should be very happy with. So yeah, thanks for the interview, and we'll see you later.
Thank you.
So that was Itmar Yativ, and finally I said we were going to leave the best till last, and we move on to Yanni Simonchurch. Hello, Yanni.
Hello.
So Yanni, you won.
Yeah, well, happily I managed to bring it home in the end.
Of course, that's an important thing to do at the Bathurst circuit, but you really seem to have the feel of this Bathurst circuit right from the start. You were fast in practice, qualifying, the race. You, very much the top driver. Talk us through just how terrifying, how imposing the Bathurst circuit is, and what you have to do to be confident here.
Yeah, that's true. In the first maybe 20 or 30 laps, it's barely possible to even finish a timed lap without bumping at least one wall. But then, at least for me, from lap 30 on, I start to become acquainted with the track and car combination. And yeah, I did not really practice that much, but still I did some important practice just to dial in the setup, even though there was nothing really to set up for this car except for like brake bias and some anti-roll bars. And yeah, I mean, I did not really do longer stints. I just saw that harder tires, harder compounds are really slow, like over 1.5 seconds per lap slower. So yeah, I made my observation quite, let's say, public, because today, like 1 hour before the race, I did my only long stint in the server, and well, of course, nobody could knew that I was in softs, but yeah, it was there, the lap times, but yeah, I guess no one really analyzed it, but I did, so I knew that it was possible to make over 30 laps on the soft tires if one did not slide in the corners.
Well, it worked, and you won it. So yeah, absolutely wonderful job. Very close fight with Christian in the early stages as well. He dropped back after the pit stops, but were you surprised by the level of competition you had today?
Yeah, it's the same every time that I start the race. I start dropping behind, whether it's world, like the World Pro Racing GT Masters or like the Endurance Championship. Every time I start the race, I start dropping back. But yeah, there's a reason for that. It's because I stick to the strategy. I preserve the tires. I also started on full tank because I thought that the time loss in the pits due to more refuel would be greater than time loss on track. So I knew that in the first stages of the race, I must stay in P1 and hold up everyone. And I managed to do that. Yeah, there were some really nice racing with Christian. Also some not too nice when we almost crashed into the downhill section. But yeah, in the end, when the strategy unfolded, it was easy job for me.
Great job, and yeah, we'll see you in the next GT3 Masters race.
Yeah, thank you.
By the way, you win the wheel stand by GT Omega, and second and third place will win some GT Omega backpacks. So congratulations, enjoy your prizes, and we will see you in future events. So that's a lot from us today. So I want to quickly thank Justin Mifsud, Adrian Figallo, as well as George Muscat and everyone behind the scenes at World Pro Racing. And if the World Pro Racing guys want to say if there are any sponsors or people that we want to thank, if you want to tune in with that, then I will read those out. But anyway, no, we don't have those. So I just want to say thank you to all of the drivers who competed today, and everyone who made this event happen. I've been your commentator, Caitlin Penny. I very much enjoyed this, and yeah, we'll be back shortly for GT3 Masters in just a couple of days' time. It's the final two. You don't want to miss it. See you until then.
I know you've got a secret like a child, you wanna keep it, but your shiny eyes reveal the simple truth.
For only €5 a month, experience every high-definition moment on your TV, tablet, phone or PC. Great teams, great moments, and so much more. TSN from Melita is your ticket to stay in the game. Visit melita.com/sports.